Another good crowd at the Adelaide Oval, good conditions, and we welcome the Melbourne and Adelaide sides out onto the ground. It is the Demons first. No Jack Viney this week, and they'll certainly miss him. Kennedy Harris comes into the lineup, but a big test for Paul Roos and his Demons after a good win in the opening round, going down last week and sitting in 13th spot on the ladder. Adelaide, on the other hand, sitting pretty on top of the ladder with a very healthy percentage and two really healthy wins under their belt. So it's all set for what should be a great game of football at the Adelaide Oval. Into round three. We've had one game last night, which was a big win to Collingwood over St Kilda. Essendon and Carlton playing also this afternoon. 5 big games, and this is just one of them. Adelaide and Melbourne. Let's go to the ground now and join two gentlemen who are affectionately known as the Mayor and the Chairman. I'm speaking of Mark Rasciuto and Jason Dunstall. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Looking forward to a big one here at the Adelaide Oval. And Mark Rasciuto, the architect of the new Crows regime, is alongside me. Whilst it might have been a reality check, Roo, for the D's last week, you couldn't have been more impressed with the Crows' start to the season.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. They're back playing hard footy, team footy, and getting the rewards early on. But if they don't rock up today, I'm sure Melbourne could potentially do what they did here last year and cause an upset and win by a few points.
Well, one man with whom you're extremely familiar is the senior assistant coach at the Melbourne Football Club. I speak of Simon Goodwin. Welcome to you, Goody.
Good afternoon, boys. How you going?
Now, first and foremost, what was the fallout from the loss last week? Because you had a great week one, a good first quarter last week, and then it all went horribly wrong.
Yeah, look, it did. You know, we've been really happy with the first 6 quarters of the way we played, and the last 2 were nowhere near the brand that we wanted to play, and it was all about the contest for us. You know, we're trying to play a brand of footy that stands up in finals, and the contest is that, and we're really poor in that area.
You talk about contest. I think one that everyone's looking forward to today is Taylor Walker and Tom McDonald, because as far as I've seen, he's been your best player of the first 2 weeks. He's in good touch, Tommy McDonald.
He's in great touch, Tom. He's clearly won his position the last 2 weeks, and it's going to be a great duel. You know, Tex is in great form, and he's a big avenue to goal for him.
The other end of the ground, Goody, you got 4 tolls up there. Not many sides are playing like that. Tell us the reasoning why you're going down that track.
Yeah, we've got the 4 tools up there, but they're all mobile. Frost is mobile, Watts is mobile, and we probably don't see those guys as really tall players. We see them as medium players, but we've surrounded them with speed too, with Ken Darlett and Kennedy Harris.
What do you think is the key to the Crows? They've been great in the midfield and up forward. What are you going to have to do to stop them today?
I think the first thing is you have to win the contest, what we've spoken about, but secondly, I think it's important that you defend their kicking game. You know, they're #1 ranked team for kicking, and if we can close some of the exits from their defence and put some pressure on, I think, you know, be a big way to win the game.
I thought Jeremy Howe was quiet last week. He's an exciting player. He was playing at halfback, didn't get into the game. Is there a way that you can utilise him better?
Oh, we spoke about that during the week. If he's not in the game, at some stage we'll try and move him forward and really see if we can impact the game forward of the ball.
But what about you two? I know you keep in regular contact, and you've spoken this week. Does anyone try and angle for a little bit of information?
He's given me nothing, Jace.
Room rang this morning and was asking me as if he knew nothing about Melbourne and trying to get information out.
Hey, Goody, really appreciate your time. Good luck today, mate.
Thanks, boys.
Good luck.
All right, we've heard from the Melbourne camp. Time to hear from the Crows camp. A short time ago, Ben Dixon caught up with the Adelaide coach, Phil Walsh.
Phil, firstly, Brody Smith, obviously a big collision last week, but he's playing today?
Yeah, listen, he's passed all the protocols. I basically had nothing to do with it. The doctor said he's right, so he's cleared to play.
Happened to sit next to Craig Kelly, Ned Kelly, on the way over. He's obviously pretty chuffed about his son Jake getting an opportunity. Is it a case you're giving him a big role when he comes in for his first game? Yeah, he'll actually start on the ground, so he's going to replace Kyle Chaney. Jake's a really good story. He's worked really hard, come up through our rookie list, and we've got high hopes for him. And you look at the opposition obviously very closely. Going into today's game, Melbourne, what's important early? Yeah, look, you've got to be able to move the ball really quick against Melbourne, otherwise they'll get numbers back. So we don't want to just bomb the ball going inside 50. We want to lower our eyes and make them defend us. Thanks for your time, Phil. Good luck. Thanks, Ben.
So just about set to go here at the Adelaide Oval. There's been a little bit of dodgy weather around this morning, a few showers. We hope it stays away, but stick with us because on the other side of the break it'll be Anthony Hudson calling all the action from the first bounce.
Overcast day in Adelaide, but the rain has cleared for the moment at least, which is good news as we get ready for this clash between the Crows and the Demons. Let's quickly check the side, and as the boys discussed, unfortunately Jack Viney out with an injury. Other than that though, Paul Roos has pretty much kept the faith. Angus Brayshaw remains the sub. quite a tall forward line. They'll be looking to get more to out of their captain, Nathan Jones, who perhaps was carrying a bit of an injury last week and had just 11 disposals. Here's the Adelaide lineup. We know how awesome they've been so far in the first couple of weeks. A 27-point win over Collingwood. Didn't really tell the full story. 30 scoring shots to 18. And as we heard, Brodie Smith confirmed as a starter. So they look very, very strong. And we're just about set to go. The captains will be on their way to the middle for the toss of the coin very shortly. Mark Rasciuto, Jason Dunstall alongside me. And some anxious moments, I suppose. There's Tex Walker. He's just made such an impact. The surprise selection, Roo, I know initially from the wider field community of footy that he was given the job, but so far we've seen exactly why.
Well, he's the best leader on and off the field. He's a big man and he's got a good presence about him. And anyone who thought he wasn't the logical choice would certainly have changed their mind by now. So good to see him doing a good job, and Nathan Van Berlo's playing good footy as well, back from his injury. So I think it's a win for both players there as much as it is for the footy club. So a good start for both those boys.
And Jason, we were in Canberra last week to see what was a strange contest in the end. We have to say the Giants were sensational, probably after quarter time, particularly in the second half. But Melbourne would have walked away very disappointed with their own efforts.
No doubt about that, and you'd hope that they'd come out fired up today. It's a big ask, but they have won here before. Of course, they upset the Crows last year, which was a massive performance. Now, I don't think you're going to draw too many similarities between that match-up last year and this one here today. But the thing we've got to remember about the Adelaide Crows as well is, and you'd be aware of this, Roo, they're still in the honeymoon period. They've played 2 games and they've dominated both games. We haven't seen them under real pressure yet, and that may not happen today. It may not happen next week, but at some stage it will. And I think we're kind of looking forward to seeing how they handle a bit of adversity when they actually get down and what sort of fight they can produce then.
Absolutely, and they need to rock up today like they have the last couple of weeks and play the same way. Otherwise you can get upset. So certainly the players aren't getting ahead of themselves after 2 weeks.
All right. Coin toss about to take place. As I mentioned, Taylor Walker and Nathan Jones. And the toss has been won by Nathan Jones, who's going to kick to the right of screen. So I said he just had 11 disposals last week, his lowest return since 2010. So hopefully he's fit and right to go this afternoon as we go down once again to Ben Dixon. Afternoon, Dicko.
Thanks, Hutto. It's electrifying down here at the moment. What a stadium. But one thing I want to touch on early, we know Adelaide's red-hot form in the first 2 rounds. I want to touch on their kicking game. We heard from Simon Goodwood saying they needed to defend it. You'll see here with the stats, #1 kicking team, short kicking team, and the effectiveness #1. But long kicking, no team, North Melbourne nor Collingwood, have defended them well enough to make them kick long. They've had it on their own terms. As we know, they've moved the ball speedy, but also it's looked slick. They've been aggressive at the contest. They've done everything right. But if Melbourne can come into this game with a hard-nosed defensive approach, they're going to go a long way to keeping themselves in the game. It's very hard to win here at Adelaide Oval, we know, and they're in red-hot form. But they defend well. They keep themselves right in the game. It's a big watch for me in the first quarter.
Good stuff, Dicko. We'll get a view of some of those key matchups very, very soon as we look down the Adelaide Oval. We get the anticipation building up here. You can see the look of determination in those Melbourne players. They would have felt they let their team down in the second half last week.
No doubt, and you have to wait a week for redemption. There is a little bit of breeze around out there, so it could be a little difficult when they're having shots for goal. A little bit blustery, Ruben. You know the breeze here probably better than anyone.
Yeah, look, I don't think it'll have too much impact on the game. I'm interested to see how their forwards will go. They've got Dawes, Hogan, Watts and Frost. 4 big fellas up forward, so certainly they'll be looking to have an impact on the scoreboard. Talia looks like he is going to Hogan. Now, that's a big call for a bloke who's played 2 games when you've got Chris Dawes, who's played many more.
A lot of Melbourne players pointing at each other. Had to reshuffle things there. Send an extra player. Lumumba has gone forward as we get ready to start this game. Hogan starting in the square, but we're watching in the middle. Pivotal battle between Jacobs and Jamar this afternoon. Sloan got some hand onto it, but not much of any effect, and that's Jetta under all of that.
So Tex Walker's got the whole forward 50 to himself at the moment. McDonald got the job. He stands the best forwards and did the job on Jeremy Cameron last week.
Cross was the third up, but to no effect as far as his term was concerned. Good intent shown by the Demons, but Dangerfield got it from Alice Yeoman. They're up towards Eddie, and Betts sliding through, couldn't contain it. Salem, who's got the job on Betts at this early stage. What a challenge it is for the young man. Lumumba back to the wing. Hogan versus Talia. Talia, good attentive work, as you'd expect. Laird and finds some space as the Crows through Hardigan, who's been good through the first couple of weeks, takes it forward.
Now, that's the stuff that they don't want to do. Hardigan just kicked it long. They're going to have a loose man behind the play. Phil Walsh should be sending a message out now to lower your eyes and find the targets.
And as we speak, Hutto, it's a Neville Jetta that's gone over onto Eddie Beck, so maybe just a crossover there when Salem got caught on him.
Hogan, good strong mark, and I think he's been as good as anyone so far in contested marks in the AFL in his first 2 games, which is a great credit. He's kicked to the outnumber there, though, and that's just down the line gaining territory. Both sides probably pretty happy that the ball went out of bounds.
Dangerfield pushing forward already. We've seen under Phil Walsh that he really wants to see the superstar up forward. Very hard to match up.
Melbourne free kick here. That's against Taylor Walker for a hip and shoulder to Tommy McDonald. So you can see the umpire clearly saying prohibitive contact 100 metres off the ball. And you want to see umpires pay that when players are going too far way off the ball.
So Vandenberg, in just his 3rd game, has the responsibility. Tries to hit up a leading target. Kent came late, unlikely man to be flying so high. Vince, of course, it'll be interesting to see what sort of reception he gets here this afternoon. Much loved by the Crows fans. Many were sad to see him go.
Loved him until he got best on ground last year and won the game for Melbourne. I don't think they were a bit annoyed, but I'm sure he'll get a few cheers today.
Of course, he had an interrupted pre-seasons, played just the 1 game so far this year. Nathan Jones at the coalface. Not much going on, it's fair to say, just at the moment.
Yeah, it could be a bit scrappy. Melbourne aren't going to give him plenty of space, so plenty of numbers around the ball's no surprise.
Jacobs into the space, defensively, but Lumumba tried to forge a path through. Jones likewise. Sloan, Van Berlo as they keep it tight, the Crows. Walker was the target on the exit, but they see it safely over the line. Jetta with the handiwork, and we'll see a throw in. So 3 minutes gone, and the Crows yet to get into any real flow. Vandenberg shoulder to shoulder with Scotty Thompson. It was good to see him back in the Adelaide lineup, also having some injury woes through the pre-season. He might get a free here.
Van Berlo's trying to go to Jones now as well. Jones is trying to go to Sloan.
265th game, Scotty Thompson, former Demon. That seems like a lifetime ago as he aims up an aggressive kick into the middle. Eddie Betts going to be watched closely there. Dunn just slammed him into the turf. Well done, Jetta. To Kent. It's a tight right. They were working through there, tight rope. And they get through okay. Kennedy Harris up to the 50. Dawes came late. Had an impact. Frost, Salem, adventurous, getting up to the 50. Hogan, look at him weave the way through. Just jammed it on the boot in the end. Hardigan held Kent at bay. Don Tyson comes in. It's scrappy stuff, and it's over the line. But Melbourne showing some really good pressure and intent.
What about the agility of big Jesse Hogan just weaving through a bit of traffic? Isn't that exciting?
Well, that's what Simon Goodwin said about the 4 tools. They're all quick, they're all agile, so you can afford to play that many.
Jamar slapped it back inside. Brodie Smith. Amazing to see him out there, really. Hogan fighting a one-man war, and we're going nowhere. So the Demons have had the ball in their forward half almost entirely so far. Can they get some reward? Jamar trying to flick it out the back, looking for help. Crows happy to crowd it up. That was almost a throw. Thompson had no room to manoeuvre. Brown did well. Back to Henderson. But his kick is almost a brilliant slips catch from Dunn. Good back up from Cross. They enter again. It's a deep kick. Watts. Laird had to go and he knew it. Tyson centering ball. Calls on Jensen Lumumba. Frost.
He took them on.
He did take them on.
Caught high.
He's drawn the free kick.
Well, that was just aggressive play because he knew he was going to get collared. And he said, well, if you're going to tackle me, tackle this. He went as hard as he could. He balled the chest up and went hard, and he's been rewarded with a free kick.
Terrific physical approach from the DSO.
Yeah, saw him a couple of weeks ago. Gee, he does hit it hard. There was the high one from Scotty Thompson, just a bit too keen. Got the arm over the shoulder. First one from Jensch was fine.
Not a lot in it.
No, there wasn't a lot in it.
So Sam Frost comes in. He's looking for his first goal in Melbourne colours.
Well, the umpires are blowing the freeze early. I mean, you said that one against Walker early was there, Jace, but they've let a lot of those go over the years as well.
So Henderson to himself. Gains about 15 on the run and then a further 30-odd on the kick. Sam Jacobs, who they've been using as an outlet player, I mean, as a ruckman to get 24 disposals last week, but there through the corridor, he's given it straight back to Vandenberg. Let's see if the D's can capitalise this time.
They look good early, Melbourne.
But can they use it inside 50? Newton, he's familiar here, coming from Port Adelaide. He's landed that one. Some reward for the D's.
Well, that was a fantastic shot on goal by Benny Newton. He couldn't push his way into the Port Adelaide side and decided to have a crack at Melbourne. I'll tell you what, he's been good the first couple of weeks. He's
a natural goal kicker,
yeah, well,
isn't he?
I think he's kicked 2 goals in both games as well. So let's have a look at this one. They turn it over in the midfield like good sides do, create scoring opportunities. Watts passes it on, and off 1 or 2 steps on the left foot from about 53 out, went bang and put the first goal on the board.
Yes, 2 goals, as Roo said, in each of the first 2 games. And then another to start proceedings here at the Adelaide Oval. Ben Newton. He's been an excellent pickup so far. Let's see if the Crows can turn things around here early. No. Garland, who was well quelled last week, got it from Vince and sends them deep again. Hogan's going to set himself. And it was a desperate spoil in the end. Dawes collected it nicely. Frost still up for grabs. Ledgy, they're under pressure, aren't they? McKay, Douglas, they pass that pressure around and do it effectively. Hardigan, important kick and well executed. Finds Brown.
Pretty obvious, boys. They're really trying to bring the ball through the middle, aren't they? The Crows, they're very courageous.
Right. Here come hell or high water at the moment. It's fallen down a couple of times. This time, Sloane takes the mark and, as you can see, is able to guide it successfully forward. Jenkins up to the 50 and then beyond. Walker, well done though by McDonald. He was happy to be in front and fisted it out of bounds.
It worked well then, boys, because they've been trying to lengthen the ground quite quickly, and Adelaide have been getting ahead of themselves a little bit in terms of the centre forward. But that play there where Rory Sloane ran into it, that's what Adelaide have been trying to do, but they've just been lengthening too quick. So they're first inside 50 here with genuine attack.
Ben Dixon with us down on the boundary this afternoon with some excellent insights. The ball not going anywhere from Bernie Vince's boot. Patrick Dangerfield enters the scene on the left boot, back to the square. Tough work there for Walker, and the Demons are going to escape again. Lumumba decides to go by hand to Kent.
Good gift.
Yeah, he had to hit the target going past Insali. He was able to do that. And they're away again via McDonald to half forward. Watts knew where the ball was headed. He glances into the 50. Some good targets for him there if he gets it quickly, but Adelaide have now got the bases covered. He wasn't prepared to go and roll the dice.
This is where Melbourne were really good round one. Defensive transition, 33% of the time they could get it inside 50. Last week only the 14 against the GWS Giants. So this is a big area for them to get it in and give their forwards a chance.
He pumps it to that area anyway in the end. Even numbers. Here's Garland, opportunity, goal square's free. Couldn't work the angles. And Jacobs, calm enough. Henderson.
That's holding the ball.
Must have got a handball.
That was holding the ball for sure, wasn't it?
Jones might kick a goal anyway for Melbourne. What a start for the Demons on the road.
Well, we'll have a look at the Ricky Henderson one, but it doesn't matter because the goal's there anyway. Fantastic pressure by the Melbourne Football Club at the moment. They're causing turnovers that are creating scores. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, I couldn't really tell there if he handballed or not. It doesn't matter anyway. They kept going. Jones got a snap off 2 feet, and that's a goal. Well done to Jones. Well done to Melbourne, who were having a real crack at Adelaide early. They didn't want to bomb it in. They moved it around and got the goal. Well, he might have been injured last week, but he's had a couple of touches already, Nathan Jones, and a good goal there to put Melbourne into a good lead.
Margin is 13. It's been all one way so far. Lumumba having an impact in the middle. Tyson feeding Jones. Confidence growing for the D's. Garland gives it plenty. Hogan approaches it, goes to ground. Talia will really test him when he's on him today. Vandenberg prepared to take it on and brace for the contact. Got it out of bounds. Another little mini win for the D's. Terrific start for Paul Roos. Now the challenge for Phil Walsh and the Crows, who haven't scored in 10 minutes of football so far. been able to quieten the crowd here as well, Melbourne, for the time being. Trying to get it out of the Alice Yeoman, but it's going to come straight back. Maybe and then some. Jetta tried to guide the pass into the pocket. Difficult challenge, but that's not. Garlett, that's 3 on the board.
This has been super impressive. Now, Mark Prosciutto spoke about attitude for the Crows prior to the game. I'm not sure if they haven't just turned up here expecting this to be a little easier than the last couple of weeks, but they are getting a nasty shock because Melbourne, as we've seen in round 1 and we saw early in last week's game, they're hard at it.
Just watch Dangerfield chase here, boys. Only half-hearted there. Now, that might look like a real little thing, but it's not good enough. Their heads aren't in the game at the moment, and Melbourne are capitalising on it with 3 early goals. They wanted to focus on the contested possessions, Melbourne. 17-11, they lead that department at the moment.
Garlett's been very inaccurate in front of goal. 3 goals, 6 coming in today, but couldn't miss that one. Tyson and Jones have been dynamic in the middle so far, and they're using the width of the ground, the D's. Happy to take it out wide and then come along through Howe. You'll be disappointed in that kick. Made life awfully difficult for Vince. Douglas, that's come off the instep, so no good as far as Taylor Walker was concerned. Cross to Jones, and again the handball takes Melbourne forward. Now the left boot from Vandenberg. And if that gets out of bounds, it's another little victory for the Demons. And it gets away from Tommy Lynch. Yeah,
Tommy Lynch has gone down back. I would think that must be a play to try and put a stop to this goal scoring early in the game.
So now they're on alert, the Crows defence. They've already conceded 4 scoring shots and trailed by 19 points. Not the way they were anticipating things here today. McKay gets swamped. Umpire lets them play for as long as he can.
It just shows you've got to be switched on. It doesn't matter if you're 2 and zip or 1 and 1 or zip and 2. There's not a lot of difference between sides in this competition. You just have to be there, ready to play.
We saw St Kilda race out to a similar lead last night before the Crows, before the Pies were able to gobble them up. The Crows will be hoping the same thing happens. Laird
got a cuff over the back of the head by the looks of it, but I think he actually fumbled the ball before he copped it.
So it was a timely belt for him then, Jace.
Well, he dropped the ball and then he got a little clip to the ear. He'd actually fumbled the ball.
And in the end, he doesn't get to have the kick at all because he's going to come off the blood rule. So it's going to go for Ricky Henderson.
He had his hands full too early with Garlett, but I'm not sure what Dean Kent was trying to do then. Looked very, very awkward.
Contested possession count at the moment is 19-14 in favour of Melbourne. Uncontested possession too. They've had 10 more of those.
And 9-2 the inside 50. So Melbourne playing the game in their forward half, and that's ideal for them to get themselves into this contest.
And it's a stagnant start for the Crows, so it's going to be hard for them to get their flow. A bit going on off the ball with Kent and
Kent again.
Got the angry pills. Hartigan takes the mark, but no closer. Going to have to really test the skills here. Showed great restraint in not rushing the kick, waiting for something to materialise, but in the end, it was a shocking kick, and Garlett couldn't believe his luck.
That's a stinker. Absolute shocker.
So Jeff Garlett, as I said, 3 goals, 6 coming in today. Already strolled into goal for 1, which will help his confidence in front of the sticks. But he'd dearly love to go back and drill this one.
15 seconds, Jeff.
Had an outstanding first week. Averages over 2 goals a game against the Crows. So enjoys playing against this team. That wasn't a convincing kick at all. In fact, he didn't really look very confident through the whole procedure.
He's got to be better. He's got to be more efficient because his damage could be much greater. You can see the crowd starting to get frustrated here. They're getting into it. Melbourne have come out. They're physical. They're putting great pressure on and not allowing the Crows to control the flow of the footy.
And a bit of an aimless kick, although maybe that was the target he had in mind was Walker. And we've got it out of bounds almost to the wings. It's not the worst result. Jens was the man that drove it deep. Taylor Walker yet to get into it, hasn't had a disposal yet.
Just on that, Hutto, they'll be like boxers that have gone 15 rounds. Tom McDonald and Tex Walker, 2 kicks away from the ball. They're just sparring each other. They're going to be exhausted.
Newton released it, hoping for Watts. There's Jake Kelly on debut coming through, but it's going swiftly the other way. Kennedy Harris thought about it. Now he's got a kick or bounce. He bounces. And his indecision was costly in the end. Good chasing, good harassing from the veteran Scotty Thompson.
He showed good speed, Scotty Thompson, to run him down.
He did. He's a bit fresh, I guess. Hasn't played a game yet this year, but that's a good way to get yourself into it with a good hard chase, saving goal, and hopefully setting up an attacking opportunity.
Better kick from Harding in that time.
Yeah, but Melbourne keep holding them up.
Yeah, defending well, the D's. Spoke pre-game about the short kicking. They are right up the backsides of the Adelaide Crows. They're not giving him a metre, and therefore the Crows won't take the kick.
Well, the kick was on there for Smith if he wanted it short to Henderson, but decided against it. And now it's a more challenge for him, more challenging equation on the bounce through to Eddie Betts. And Jed has been outstanding so far, hoovering things up, getting it moving through Vandenberg again. Kennedy Harris looking for a free. And it's out of bounds, and they continue just to defend as grimly as possible here, the Crows.
They look sharp, the Crows. They look like they're plotting a bit out there, but Melbourne certainly look on top of the ground and very lively early. 11-2 now, the inside 50s, massive advantage.
Nathan Jones with 5 disposals, leads all comers. Ball back on its way in, as you can see, Jenkins down to Dangerfield, who just can't escape the clutches of this determined Melbourne team. They're really taking it up to the Crows. They're looking for more. Watts flicked it out. Hard to get out of there. Tyson did his best. It's still up for grabs. In goes Smith. They crunch in again. Tyson feeling the heat. Sloan. Again, Melbourne standing up. Garland to the top of the square. They're relentless. The D's. Hogan pushing and shoving beyond his years, showing physical presence. Kent off the left. Oh, could have been another.
Gee, Hogan nearly out-bodied 2 of them there, Jace. Have a look at this.
He's only young.
He's pushing young,
but he plays like a veteran and a big bloke. He uses his weight well.
And that's why he's drawn Daniel Talia. One of the best defenders in the game has gone to him as the #1 forward after 2 games.
Well, this is a stunning performance by Melbourne. Not just the scoreline, but the way they have made Adelaide look, which is just so uncertain in what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. While she trying to stay composed there, I don't think the insides of the head or the body would be feeling the same, but it is only early. Well, let's wait and see what happens for the remainder of the quarter.
Now that Dangerfield's gone on the ball, he's getting a match-up with Nathan Jones, which is interesting as well.
Yeah, gave that a shove or 2 in there, but Melbourne are getting the ball first, and they're keeping it away from the Crows. Key players, they almost lost it to Dangerfield that time. Frost, there's some intensity for the Crows, but Kent matched it. Well played. Cross up towards the 50, but Jensch able to have that covered as he went out of bounds on the full. So with the inside 50 count, 12-2. Incredible from the Demons. The kick goes almost to half forward. Garland, nice little nudge on Jenkins, worked him over the ball. Oh, he's handed that straight over to Lynch, and despite the best efforts from Watts, it's going to be an Adelaide ball. But Watts did well then. He's allowed his team to get back. Betts is the deep target. He's got them guessing down there, but he didn't quite get to the footy. Oh, was that high? Maybe twice.
He got over the top of him. He did well, actually. Jumped right over the top rather than crashing into him.
Vandenberg it was. And quick kick back into play, so the Demons wanting to get it moving. Tyson, who's also been good so far.
She's been impressive from Melbourne. Really, really impressive.
Meticulous little kick required. He couldn't quite execute in the end. Dangerfield, just call that a handball.
Just.
Now, is that going to be holding the ball?
Yeah.
Tyson.
No. He heard the umpire. He said he didn't dive on it. What saved him?
He laid on it, though.
Jamar doing the ruck work. His direct opponent Jacobs got it out, but it's going Melbourne's way again through Newton. For how long? Talia should be able to round this up. He's got some support, but he's also had to deal with the pressure which has been consistently applied by the Demons. There's another missed target, and Vandenberg back to Tyson. They came at him with a rush. Smith, Douglas, let's fly. Walker and McDonald, genuine one-on-one. Good stuff, early points to McDonald, but this is where Eddie Betts does his best work. Off the left, gets it to Lynch, who thought about playing on and handballing to Thompson, which would have been a lot easier than the shot that he's got coming up.
He did well, Lumumba. He held him up. He didn't allow him to play on. You know, make him kick it from the angle.
How good was Eddie Betts in tight, boys?
He loves that pocket, doesn't he?
Oh, he loves
some great work from it.
That's Eddie's pocket. And And that little left footer had no room to move at all. Could have set up a goal here for Tommy Lynch if he can finish off.
22 disposals and a couple of goals last week, Tom Lynch.
Tough kick.
Good strike. They're away. It's taken them 20 minutes, but there's a goal.
And you just feel like the last couple of minutes they have steadied. They've had the last couple of inside 50s. They got that goal, but gee, it's taken 20 minutes for them to do something. The kicking has been really poor. That was a bad kick by Wright. A good tackle here by McKay to set up the turnover. Smith to Douglas. Let's have a look at Eddie Betts in here tight. This is why he's such a good small forward. His score assists are equally as impressive as the goals he kicks. Have a look at that. That's elite.
That's a stunning kick off the left boot, isn't it, in a tight situation?
Yeah, it's as good as it gets, Eddie. I think with his score, assists and goals, he's better than anyone over the last 5 years.
And Kennedy Harris gives him some zip off the wing, hitting hard off the square. Got almost through the cracks to Vandenberg. Now Newton, he'll give to Kennedy Harris. The chase was terrific. And McKay maybe held up a goal, although Melbourne is still well inside their 50.
He did the good body work, Chris Dawes, and then he just fumbled the pickup. Really good run-down tackle here. Yeah, David McKay.
He's done 2 in a couple of minutes. D-Mac be very, very happy with that. Good run by Melbourne, though. Good answer. Nearly got the goal after Adelaide did.
5.5 minutes remaining in the opening term. Jack Watts, Douglas, an important touch. Now Dawes, he can try and impose himself. He was doing his best to get through the bottleneck, but he couldn't. And no advantage there.
Don't mind him using his body, Jace, but well, he looks like he might have hurt his thumb here as he's running off his hand. When you try and crash the pack these days with the way the holding the ball is, you've got to give it off after at least the first one.
He's dislocated the finger.
Yeah,
he got past the first 5, didn't he? Yeah. It was the next 2 or 3 after that.
Yeah, just needs a finger pulled out. They normally look away when they do it.
McKay to the wing, Vince and Dangerfield.
Looks like it's been put back in and he'll just get some tape on that.
No room for Dangerfield to manoeuvre there. Can't get out.
Yeah, back in safely. A little bit of tape to the finger next to it just to give it a little bit of support.
You ever done one of them?
Oh, 100.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
They hurt?
As a forward, because you're always attacking the ball with your fingers spread. You got punches coming from behind, all sorts of things.
Free kick to Patrick Dangerfield. Coming up for his 4th disposal. Ooh.
I've just had a look at Jason's fingers. I can see now he did misjudge a few.
He's not happy danger, is he? I love this aggression from Melbourne. They have come here big time with a plan to upset the Crows, not to just follow the script that everyone thinks is going to play out.
Bernie Vince trying to ruffle a few feathers.
Love it.
Well, he has, hasn't he, there? I mean, Dangerfield really upset.
That's all right. It's a long game, isn't it? And this is good. This is what we want. People love head-to-head battles in the midfield. We don't see them as much with rotations these days, but if Vince and Danger go head-to-head around the stoppages today, a lot of people will be glued to the TV.
Okay. Sprays that one into the crowd. Free kick going to Nathan Jones at half-back. Melbourne, 3 goals, 3. Adelaide 1-1. So it's been a low-scoring opening term. This man Vandenberg's been terrific. What a pickup.
Yeah.
Oh,
just as we say that,
terrible.
He's given it straight to Sloan, who almost gave it back. Tried to address the situation with good aggression, and that could have been holding the ball. Play on the call, though. Probably fair enough. Maybe no prior. Smith back into the maze of players. Alice Yeoman seemed a bit more assured than the others, but it is so tight in there. Hard to get a clean break. But they will cross. In fact, Vince slams it to half forward. It hangs for a fair while. Talia came with a determined fist and knuckles it over the line and out of bounds. It's Melbourne by 14. Surprising opening term.
Here's Dangerfield and Vince. Not a lot in that. It looks like he might have got him in the private bits there. That might be why he fired up a little bit, and fair enough. Wouldn't have been on purpose, though.
21 plays 7.
Wouldn't think.
So 3-3 to 1-1.
Might have upset his hair, Jace.
Thompson back to the wing. Lumumba couldn't handle it. Douglas got shoved out. Newton had the wings clipped then. It was terrific tackling. The umpire let them keep going as the numbers multiply around the footy, and it's a baller.
Very scrappy, a lot of fumbling. The pressure's not overly high. And Melbourne are really serving it up to the Crows.
Well, Adelaide have been chasing. You can see that the stats numbers. 24 tackles they've had in the opening term.
Yeah, they look very fumbly, Adelaide.
Vandenberg. Again, there's a 2-on-1. And Dawes might get a free. This was two undersized defenders there, wasn't it? Lynch and Kelly.
This is kickable.
Yeah, he's going to go back and have the shot.
Got a lot of protection in this pocket now. The big grandstands over this end, so
it won't move as much. Pretty straight from there.
The wind actually might be coming from the other way a little bit, so if it's going to move at all, I think it'll probably move left to right, but I think I'd be going straight for the middle.
Hasn't kicked a goal this year. This is just his second game. That doesn't change. Plenty of Melbourne hands up. Douglas caught in the clutches. J. Mars, he eked out a goal.
That's touched off the boot. Geez, they're excited, Melbourne. They know they're in the contest. This is terrific stuff. And now we get to see the Crows answer. See how they handle the pressure.
Rory Sloane and Scott Thompson with 6 disposals. Vandenberg with 9 for their respective sides. Smith sends it as far as he can, almost to the wing. How close was this?
This is a J-Mar kick out of the pack. Was it touch there? Might have been touch there.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Margin 15.
Certainly over the line, so it would had to have been.
Jacobs with a confident knockdown, but just gets away from Patrick Dangerfield.
Hey, boys! No holds!
Both teams' kicking efficiency left a bit to be desired, hovering around the 50% mark.
A lot of pressure on there. It's sort of in the packs. A lot of packs. A lot of tight play.
A lot of hurried kicks. There's a good handball from Vandenberg, though. Gave some liberty for Nathan Jones. Let's see if he can make the most of it. He has. Newton takes the grab. The D's prepared to attack again. Down to the last 2 minutes of the opening term. It's been surprising so far. Frost, Kelly, Kennedy Harris back in the team. Got one high. Needless too, wasn't it, for the Crows?
That was reckless by Jake Kelly. Just got to focus on the ball. He might be a bit revved up in his first game. Seen him attack a couple of the others a bit hard as well. Just got to get the focus on the ball.
His dad would never have done that, would he, Jace?
He clotheslined me in the second game at Vic Park, and then I got spat on over the fence. That was a good start.
Kick almost goes to full forward. McKay comes charging through. Alice Yeoman. What's the umpire going to determine here? Sounding like holding the ball. Left it a long time, and Tyson was the man under all of that. He has to begrudgingly hand it over.
They have defended brilliantly, Melbourne, this quarter. You can already have, every time the Crows get to have a kick, the Melbourne defenders are right beside the Crows. Great first quarter by the D's.
And again, McKay's ill-directed kick. Chance for Watts. Dangerfield took it upon himself to rip it out of the situation. And now Lynch kicks to half forward. And Eddie Betts have got their crowd on the feet again. And they got good help then, Jenna, from McDonald. Betts goes again. And again he's run down. He's got no support, Eddie, at all. And they'll be disappointed with that. The Demons all critical fumble by Watts. Trying to spin through Smith. We know he's damaging. Kicks to full forward. Jenkins. Path cleared. Cameron. Got it.
Have a look at those boys. They're firing up across centre half.
Well, they've all gone to Jack Watts because he dropped the sitter of a mark.
Well, that's fair enough.
You can't make mistakes like that. It's cost his team a goal.
Cost them a goal, and they are letting him know. Tex Walker's giving him a mouthful. Ducked ahead, he's saying, but be careful when you give him too much grief. Let him know what he's done, and generally that's enough, I would have thought, Jace. But there's a bit of feeling out there, isn't there? It's good to see. Plenty on it.
Oh, this game heats up a little more. Melbourne's lead reduced to 9. Crows will kick the last 2 goals. There's some angst out there.
Well, Tex will stand up for his teammates. Danger was getting a bit rustled up before. There she's on. It's good.
Alice Yeoman makes the great escape out of the middle. And the young man winds up and lets it go to full forward. Eddie will watch. We'll all watch.
13 goals kicked on them in a row last week, and right now they've had 2 in 30 seconds, all because of a drop mark for Jack Watts, and that's the opportunity that presents when you make mistakes at AFL level. Let's have a look at this centre clearance. Melbourne had won the last 4 centre clearances in a row. Ellis Yeoman running unattended, nowhere near him, went for home, and Eddie Betts just blocked enough, but well done to Ellis Yeoman. Good tap by Jacobs. And another good goal by Adelaide, and they're back into it.
That's his first goal in AFL football, and he may not kick many better ones, and that would be nothing wrong with that. That is an outstanding goal. And suddenly, it's 3 points the difference here at the Adelaide Oval. Jamar down to Tyson. Garlick getting a run in the middle. Only seconds remaining in this opening term. Kick lands at half forward. Kent, good physical approach to the game so far. Jamar cross as they maintain possession. Garlick forced to kick a little raggedly to half forward. Now Van Berlo, and he had some voice on the wing, and it was a familiar voice. Thompson and Douglas, and the siren sounds to end a very interesting opening term. A bit of relief for the Adelaide players. They're under siege early, but they've hit back with some outstanding goals. And at the first break, it's just a 3-point margin. Melbourne 3-4-22, Adelaide 3-1-19. Well, Melbourne have made all the running here at the Adelaide Oval, but there was a critical moment in that opening term. A drop mark from Jack Watts, and the Crows, who'd conceded the first 3 goals, were able to respond with a couple of late ones. And Taylor Walker's never been the shy, retiring type. He was happy to let Jack Watts know all about it as things got a little bit willing and tempers started to flare a little bit. The Melbourne players, they're trying to do their best to protect Jack Watts, but Taylor Walker, we might show a bit of that again a little bit later because he went on with a little bit more, but there's your scoreline at quarter time.
He did go on with it. They kicked a couple of late ones to get themselves back in at Adelaide. Melbourne terrific in the first term. Taylor Walker, mind you, hasn't touched the ball in the first quarter. Tom McDonald has done an exceptional job. They haven't had a lot of inside 50s, no. 15-7 in favour of the D's, but a very good start for Melbourne.
Their defence was fantastic. I think the Crows only had 2 inside 50s for 90% of that first quarter, so we won't write Tex off just yet, but Melbourne around the contest have been fierce. They've won the contested ball, they've won the centre clearances 5-1, and they really should be several goals in front, but they're not.
No, those last 2 goals would have been deflating, so I suppose Paul Roos, they needed to take a fairly holistic approach to that quarter, I'd say.
A lot more positives than negatives, Hutto. A couple of defensive lapses. That drop mark from Jack Watts was a poor one, cost a goal, but overall, the intensity, the work rate was terrific.
It'll be interesting to see how Jack Watts handles that now, because that'll take a bit of character. Some blokes will fire right up and have a good one.
Some will go
Others might go right back into the shell.
Yep.
He's starting the second term, I think, on the bench, but we'll get to see how he's deployed in this quarter very shortly.
I reckon when he goes to sleep tonight, he might have a bad dream about Tex Walker's face at some point as well.
It was right in it, wasn't it? So 3-4-22 Melbourne, 3-1-19 Adelaide. Second quarter action from the Adelaide Oval.
Been a bit inconsistent, the D's. They need to string 4 quarters together if they're going to beat some reasonable sides.
Well, they made a great start last week and were completely swamped by the Giants. So that's a good point, Roo. Centre bounce. Jamar slapped it Melbourne's way, but Thompson was onto it quickly. And now Eddie Betts, who's had the habit of coming off the square and really adding to this mix in the middle for the Crows. Taylor Walker, that'll get the crowd excited. He drills it in. Too low, too tough for Jenkins. Dunn had good support. Salem, wrong way, go back. He did, and he finds Cross back in the square, giving him an option, giving him a way out.
It's an interesting choice to kick by Walker. He's kicking to Jenkins, who's 6'6", 6'7", and tried to drill it at him. He must know it's a lot easier with a bit of flight off it.
Cross takes it as wide as he can without kicking it out of bounds on the full.
See what he did do, Taylor Walker. He got his first touch, and we see Frost coming off. He's limping, is he? Doesn't look to be moving too well. Watts will come on to replace him. For a bloke that's just come back from an knee, Rico, geez, he turned well. He turned McDonald inside out.
Yeah, it's noticeable from last year to this year how much difference it's made with a bit more time.
Jacobs got the last tap onto that. Dangerfield could be holding the ball.
Good tackle.
Yeah, Bernie Vince has gone on to Dangerfield, and he has taken it on himself to get under
his skin, to be physical, and I'll tell you what, it's working because it's upsetting Dangerfield.
Yep. Oh, well, there's no love lost there. When you swap sides, your opposition.
Lumumba takes the mark. So Melbourne's leaders were looking to have an impact early in this quarter after they were just overrun in the last few minutes of that opening term. Kennedy Harris has been busy buzzing around. Can't find a way out there. Good tackle from Jake Kelly. And not going any further.
Yeah, Vince still following Dangerfield. We'll see him come into screen here now. Just sitting in behind him, making sure that he doesn't do too much damage at the stoppage.
And Burlow watching Jones very closely.
You mentioned Sam Frost came off, boys. He's actually gone down into the dugout with the doctor and the physio, so I'll keep you updated on with him.
Dangerfield had to squeeze a kick out the best he could. How? Very quiet last week.
Yep.
Jumps up and takes the mark. Just 10 disposals.
But it was a squeeze kick, Hutto. That was the interesting word. And Bernie Vince was right behind him.
Wasn't alone either, was he? He had his teammates supporting him. That kicks up to Jack Watts. Good timing from Kelly with the spoil. Everyone a bit disorientated. Watts goes back into the ring again. Gets the handball out to Lumumba. So he's responded pretty well there, Jack Watts. A couple of good efforts. And the ball out of bounds. Just call that a handball. Margin still 3. Early stages of the second term. Nathan Jones. Great pickup from Howe. Difficult circumstances. Jones does his best. Screws it back to the 50. Hartigan playing in front.
Push to Melbourne.
Good kick.
Wow.
I tell you what, he's got good toe off the mark too. Jesse Hogan, he left Daniel Talia standing. There was a 5-metre break on that. Didn't see the push on.
No, I didn't see it. Let's have a look.
It was against player McKay at the back.
Which it didn't actually. I don't think it actually pushed him out of the contest, but he put his hands on his back and he didn't need to. The gap between Talia and Hogan, he was explosive off the mark.
That would indicate a good push from Hogan, or caught him when he wasn't watching, maybe.
So Jesse Hogan into his move now. A couple of little stutter steps. Kicks on its way. The faltering approach ends with a behind.
We saw him in the warm-up, Brew, kicking a couple, and he didn't look particularly fluent.
Yeah. He's got a pretty good kick on him, though, in general.
Yeah, wasn't striking it well, though. There's the long kick for Thompson.
He had to wait a little longer than he would have liked. Vandenberg had the height to combat, which he did. Walker can't shrug his shoulders enough. Thompson's looked in excellent touch to Talia. Crows advance beyond the wing. Almost called half forward now. Garland will take care of that. And the weather looks a bit threatening. What are you making of the action down there, Dicko? Early stages of the second term.
Well, at least the crowd have got back on their terms, because it was quite quiet in the first quarter with the dominance of the Melbourne Demons. But one thing about the weather, you can just see the dark clouds coming over. The breeze is swirling around like the MCG, but it looks like there's a little bit of rain on their way, so Melbourne can hang on and keep the defensive pressure. They're right in it again.
So it's Melbourne 3-5-23, Adelaide 3-1-19. We're without our on-screen scoreboard just for the moment. The D's kicked the first 3 goals of the game, and the Crows were able to respond. He's caught one there.
Kick in the midriff because he smothered the ball with his body, Dangerfield.
Oh, that's twice, and that can't be good. That's good, though. Good pace.
Great chase.
And good harassment, wasn't it, by the D's? Now they're able to work it back to Jenkins with a quick snap and a good snap. And for the first time today, the Crows are in front.
Sometimes he can go for patches of the game, Josh Jenkins, and do absolutely nothing, and then he'll just bob up and kick a goal. For a bloke who is so big, he's very agile, and he has a goal sense of a small forward.
Have a look at J-Mar goes to kick it here. And the follow-through just catches Paddy Dangerfield right in the midriff.
I think he'll be in the ice bath later on today. He's at the couple there already.
Good kick in the guts, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
Let's have a look at this kick from Jenkins for a big fella. Good kick.
Big Josh Jenkins. His 5th goal for the season. Adelaide take the lead. Demons look to respond. Boos. A chorus will tell you that Bernie Vince is kicking Melbourne to half forward. And they're now under stress. the Melbourne side, because the Crows are starting to get their flow. Henderson, Alice Yeoman kicked a wonderful goal. Got some early on, got some instructions to go long, but he sort of went somewhere in between there.
Well, he didn't have any targets. He was trying to do the short kick, what Phil Holst wanted, but it wasn't on.
Oh, McDonald takes an extra step.
He bounced it. He bounced it. I reckon he was unlucky. Maybe the umpire didn't see him bounce because he had his back to it. He was just on his limit. And another yard is probably too far. He realised that as soon as he evaded the chase from Betts, he bounces it there.
Cost him a couple extra steps, didn't it?
Yeah, Chris, keep coming, Chris.
Unlucky, but McDonald trying to get involved and work Walker up the ground in a defensive role.
Oh, Eddie Betts was very close to the man on the mark in the end. Sloan had to turn into a defender. Tried to slap it away. Lumumba confronted from both angles. Well done, McKay. Well done, Jenkins. Now Dunn starting to feel it. Crows closing in. Dunn just walks it, escorts it all the way to the line. Realised he couldn't just take it straight over or he would be pinged. So he's actually done that very well.
Well, it was pretty clever by Jenkins too, because if he did run over, it probably would have been a free. He just stayed off and let him make the decision. Good footy all round, really.
Scores are back there. Adelaide 4-1-25. Melbourne 3-5-23. Jacobs, Tyson, Jetta, and that might be on the full as well. So they're getting a little bit scrappy around the edges.
Both teams kicking well below the league average.
Yes, even in this quarter, Adelaide going at 44%, pretty small sample.
Yep.
Taylor prepared to risk everything and go to the middle to Eddie Betts.
Melbourne only kicking at 50% for the entire match thus far. That's not good enough.
Well, look at Brodie Smith up his sleeve on the wing, and once he gets it, he can go. He decides to kick it with penetration. Walker there in amongst a whole lot of big Adelaide timber, but it's Howe and Jones driving to get it away for the D's. Tyson didn't have much on down the ground, but now he does. Lumumba, and they can work the loose man. Kent, or Dawes is an option along if he can get it onto his boot in time. He was waiting hungrily for the ball, but it may never arrive. Or no, it's going surging the other way. McKay off the left, happy to bring it into Van Berlo, and he's got teammates floating by. Henderson delayed the kick, wanted it for Walker. Couldn't quite hook it in. McDonald will punch hard the other way. Tried to get it to Jones. Confronted by Lynch. And absorbs the tackle. What's the reading from the umpire? No prying.
The area that Phil Walsh would have highlighted at quarter time was the ground ball. He talks about ground balls, which is a slightly different version of the contested ball. Takes out the contested marks and the ruck work. And the ground ball was dominated by Melbourne in the first quarter, 35-22. And in this second quarter, it's now 7-all. But
this isn't good. Tom McDonald's in trouble.
Ooh. What happened here, Jace? One in the ribs.
Yeah.
Take the wind out of the sails.
Well, play's going on, so he's staying out there. Lynch, there may be a man down, though, because he's still in pain. Taylor Walker desperately to try and find a friend. Well done, Dangerfield. Drag Tyson down. Sloan, Jacobs. And that's out on the full.
Back here. 3 metres with me.
It's a critical period of play for Melbourne. Just can't let Adelaide continue with the momentum. We've seen so many big momentum swings in football this year. Melbourne had 14 consecutive goals kicked against them last week, Jace.
They did.
And they've had 4 here.
And guarantee it, they'll be addressing that at half-time as well about the drop-off, because they were very good in the first quarter and a half last week as well.
Gee, it's going to be a tough period while McDonald is getting some repairs, because it's such a potentially damaging Adelaide forward line. Tex Walker would be enjoying the freedom of having no McDonald for a start.
Well, it means Lyndon Dunn goes on to him now, and he's just a little distressed at the moment. It's obviously hit him in a really sensitive spot.
Floating ribs there, the bottom ones, I reckon.
He was exposed.
Jacobs. Dangerfield with a bit of a run-up, but he was going the other way.
Gee, Vince has been good, and giving it to him off ball too on Dangerfield. It's on.
Garlick to Jones, and he's... Oh, gee, I thought he was gone there. Usually when you're given a tour of about 360 degrees and more, you're in trouble.
Vince's tackle on Dangerfield was a beauty. Dangerfield's coming from the ground. He's a little worse for wear. After he tackled him, He drove his head into the ground. He'd lay on top of him. He hugged him. He wrestled him. If you can see it here, he stays on top of him after the tackle and just keeps giving it to him. He doesn't let him up. He's just sapping the energy of Dangerfield.
There's some sore boys out there already. Lumumba was a bit worse for wear also. And Melbourne just falling down at crucial moments at the moment. And that one is over the line and out of bounds again.
Just on the sore boys at the moment, we still haven't seen Sam Frost back, and Angus Brayshaw's actually taken the vest off here and he's warming up and down the boundary line, so I'll keep you posted with if that's a change.
That'd be terrible news for the D's. Also interesting to see Dangerfield on the phone there. Phil Walsh having a chat to him, you suspect?
Yeah, you'd expect him to be saying, just stay controlled. He's trying to stir you up.
Yep.
Don't give away free kicks. Keep attacking the ball. Keep doing the tackles.
Doing it very well, Bernie Vince.
Yep.
Van Berlo guides the kick to Lynch, who's a conduit between defence and attack.
Played the same role on Dangerfield here last year too, Jace, when they won. Went to him at stoppages, tried to minimise his influence, and he's doing that at the moment. Dangerfield's only had 6 disposals, and most of them have been rushed.
That win last year was Melbourne's first in South Australia since 2002. Thrilling finish. And the D's just got over the line against all the odds. Adelaide lead by 2 points here. Melbourne trying to rediscover what they had in the first part of the first quarter when they kicked the opening 3 goals. Just been the 1 goal they've conceded, though, in almost half of this second term. So they're certainly not getting run over yet. Tyson claims Alice Yeoman, but he's still squeezed to kick out. Garland had to wait. Betts, Jetta. And Jetta's disposal is going to be easily collected. And you thought it would have been by Sloane. Fed Douglas back.
Oh, that's a bad turner. They've got to go quick. They've got numbers out if he goes quick.
Garland does do just that.
Got Watts deep in the forward line, should get the next kick.
Newton to Watts. He's got to mark this, Jack Watts, and he knows that he flies. Couldn't take it in the air, but he did take it on the ground. Gives it to Hogan, and the D's are back in front. And Jack Watts will breathe a big sigh of relief.
Well, he will, but it was a bad kick by Richie Douglas, who presented the opportunity for a turnover. It was really a bad mark by Rory Sloane that started it, even back before that. So a couple of fumbles, bad kicks, presenting opportunities for Melbourne, who did it pretty well, really. And Jesse Hogan was a lucky one on the end of it.
He recovered well, Jack Watts, but he needed to be harder in that contest.
Yeah, well, he didn't even go for the mark. He just jumped up and protected himself. It was a pretty lucky result, really, but they got the goal, and that's what they needed.
That could just be the tonic the D's need. A goal puts them back in front. Frost's back down there. We'll get Dicko on that in a moment. Jacobs down to Alice Yeoman. Oh, there's a clever handball.
The good news is Tom McDonald's back out there on Dangerfield.
Betts was timely. Walker overruns it.
Oh, Walker, sorry.
Lumumba was clipped a bit, but got a handball away to McDonald outdoors. Got some issues. Hunted down by Walker, and the kick was affected. Sloane, instant give.
Downfield, Adelaide free.
It was downfield, but it's only about 2 metres.
Yeah. Vandenberg gave Sloane a little bit after he got rid of it, so
need to work back hard here, the D's. They're a little slow getting some numbers back.
Sam Frost, boys, out of the game. He came back, his left foot didn't have it taped at all, and Angus Brayshaw was just about to come on the ground.
Disappointing news for the former Giant, and obviously for Melbourne fans as well. Crows looking for an exact entry into the 50. This is Jake Kelly, promoted rookie.
That's it. Thank you.
And it's just started raining down here, boys.
Well, a bit of everything in today's game, isn't there?
There is. Hardigan, oh boy, like that one again.
You got to get the right people distributing the ball forward, and I don't think Kyle Hardigan's one of those.
Lyndon Dunn. So the complexion of this game changes again with the greasy conditions now to contend with. Kick to the wing. Imposing, isn't he, Jesse Hogan?
Every time we see him, we get more impressed. They're out here. They're out here.
Garland.
Got to punch it over the
Taylor against 3, and he took the mark.
well, that is just poor football by Melbourne. That was a golden opportunity to kick another goal. Would have put the Crows right back under the pressure with the rain coming down.
Yench to half forward. Jenkins free kick against. Yep. So against Bernie Vince for some holding. It's done well to just hold them at bay there, and the Crows are all getting into Perney on the mark. Meantime, Josh Jenkins lets fly to full forward. Walker will get a good look at it, but there's demon jumpers everywhere. Jeremy Hower, Thompson, that was tangles with Jones.
Yeah, I like the way Scotty Thompson just copped that sweep.
Let's have a look at this contest down there. Talia, player falls over. Watts goes hardly at all. And Talia takes a chest mark amongst 3 Melbourne forwards.
Jenkins tried to guide it down. Jones over the top of it. Ellis Yeoman, Sloan, Thompson, Lynch. Got it to the boot as swiftly as he could. As a result, though, it was pretty haphazard sort of kick. And it's now 3 points the difference. Melbourne holding Adelaide at bay. Been a good effort by the D's in this second term overall. Just a goal each. Lyndon Dunn launches.
And he's kicked an outnumbered situation, though.
Oh, Jesse Hogan almost dragged it in.
And that's the confidence, I think, the Melbourne players now have in Jesse Hogan. They see him, they want to kick to him because they know they get a good contest. Lyndon Dunn didn't even look at the other side of the ground. He had a couple of options on.
8-3, the inside 50s in favour of the Crows in this second quarter.
Haven't been able to capitalise at all, have they?
Before today, they were the most efficient side in the competition after 2 rounds of going inside 50 and converting it to a score. But Melbourne been very good defensively today. No space, no players on the lead, just kicking it long into the forward line today.
Tight struggle here at the Adelaide Oval. Jenkins, Alice Yeoman, what a player he has become in a very short period of time. Douglas, this time Walker, Marco free kick.
Well, that was a genuine contested mark. I think they paid the free before he marked it. But
he's off and around route, and he's putting it through. And that's what the Crows need to really get going.
He did that last week, Tex Walker, when he took a mark in a very similar position. Instead of going back on the good side for a right footer to kick a drop punt, he chooses to play on, which I'll let Jason Dunstan answer why he thinks he should or shouldn't do that.
You can see the tug of jumpers. That would have been a free kick if he didn't mark it. He's on a tight angle. I mean, if you're on that sort of angle, there's no problems running out to create better angle. He's comfortable doing it. But I like the kick from Douglas because it isolated Walker in a one-on-one contest.
Yeah, very rare opportunity where he's had a one-on-one today, Tex, but did it beautifully there.
See what happens out of the middle. Crows, they're getting it going maybe. Sloan drills it as long and as strong as he can. Walker dangerous here. Thompson comes in to lend a hand. Pressure really mounting, and the Melbourne defence pretty steadfast there.
Yeah, they did well. They kept their feet. If they'd fallen over there, it would have been all over Red Rover. But good defence by the D's. And I'll tell you what, if you're a Crows forward now, run to the front of the pack. You could just about guarantee J Mar will hit it straight down the front. If it doesn't go over the top of the throw-in.
Dangerfield trying to do the rucking and the roving. It's still up for grabs. Handy little handball from Watts. Lumumba. They just stayed one step ahead of the Crows there and get it to defensive 50.
Trouble is, if they get the ball there and they're under pressure, it's a quick kick forward. There's 3 loose Adelaide players waiting for the quick kick out.
The dive there by Dangerfield.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You don't want to see that.
On its way back again. Dangerfield up as the third. Brayshaw gets through to cross, and they're out of there.
Mark's back here, Chris. 2 more metres, Chris. 2 more metres.
Eventually got the message. Madigan able to spread it wide. And they're going through Talia. Sloan and unlikely. Target Howe!
You can see it a mile off. He read the kick beautifully, Howe.
Wow. Wet footy.
Not a problem for Jeremy Howe. Great to see him back in that marking touch. It's just a matter of waiting, isn't it, really? And then there'll be another one with Jeremy Howe. Nathan Jones takes the next pass.
Well, it's the one good thing about Howe playing in defence. He's going to be able to read play and have an unobstructed run and jump at a lot of packs.
Jones spots Brayshaw. Inch by inch, the Demons.
It's almost a reversal, though. This is what Melbourne did to Adelaide. Made them chip the ball around, kick short, and then eventually they forced them to kick long up the line.
Lumumba has been prominent in this quarter. That's his 9th disposal. Back to Jones. So they're trying to draw the Crows out a little bit. Howe. Just a big kick. That's a 45-metre short pass. Lateral kick for Neville Jetta. Got there in plenty of time, so it was well executed by Jeremy Howe. Jetta down the line to effectively to a couple of one-on-ones, and it was pretty easy fodder really for the Crows defence. So the game is just falling down a bit. Look at that grab from Howe.
Pure leap, isn't it?
Some can do it and some can't, Jace. He would have been doing it at primary school.
Imagine trying to combat that at lunchtime. Vince.
No one would have wanted to play with him, I reckon.
2-on-1 for Adelaide. That's too easy.
Talia, maybe just the greasy ball stopping him from taking the mark there. So it's a little mini victory for the Demons and a chance for them to set up in their forward half. You can see how much time the ball spent in the Adelaide half of the ground, just over 70% in this quarter, all for 2 goals to 1 advantage. Alice Yeoman's been outstanding for them so far. That's a fluky little kick, really. And Lynch on the bounce, the half volley, a tough one to handle for Dangerfield.
It should have been a free
to Melbourne. To cross, yes, not paid. And Dangerfield, relentless, goes again.
Holding the ball.
Gee, he's copying it from everyone, Dangerfield, today.
And he's not enjoying the rub of the green at the moment, is he?
He's showing it, though, too, which the Melbourne players will pick up on.
Salem. Spears it to half forward. Again, Watts being handled pretty confidently by Talia. Oh, that's
too high.
Thought that was high against Brayshaw. But
good aggression for the young player.
Yes, absolutely.
He tore into him.
He had 9 tackles in his first game. Found the going a bit tougher last week.
Pretty chunky build.
5-2 plays 4-5, so it's just a slender lead to the Crows. And the D's right in this. Thompson. Lumumba sweeps in to take it, and straight away Sloane was trying to strip him of it. But Kent's good thinking there, was able to get it out to Salem. He was going to be hunted. Oh, Brayshaw. Just a reminder of what senior footy's like.
But see, in that instance there, we saw a classic case of peeling off for a hand pass rather than shepherding and giving the player more time to use the footy.
Thoughts of Jason Dunstall and Mark Rasciuto. Ben Dixon's with us down at the boundary line. We'll get the view from down there very shortly. Just over 5 minutes remaining. They're starting to win these clearances all too easily. McKay to half forward to Eddie Betts. He remains a threat in this game. Jetta doing his best to halt the progress. Smith's about to run and receive, but Hogan, good stuff to stop him do that, restrained him well.
Well, he went early there, McDonald. He read it better than Walker on that occasion. That was a very good mark.
Here's a dangerous kick back into the middle. It was all loaded up in Adelaide's favour. Rory Laird with the mark.
Betts.
He's called for it, Betts. Salem a little bit concerned, but he did well, Salem. Tracked the flight of the footy, got back onto it. Kennedy Harris ducks around Cameron, then back onto the right boot. Doesn't escape too far. Newton calls on Howe. Look to link up with Garland. Are the D's out? They are. Hogan, if he can mark it, they'll be away. So close. He's got Watts up his sleeve. He goes back into trouble. And that's
well done, Jake Kelly.
Again, everyone ran away from him. Kenton Watts peeled off thinking he'll get out of this.
Yep.
You've got to support him.
Yeah, right. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you probably expected him to break the tackle there, but you've got to play the percentages, don't you?
There's a good tackle from young Jake Kelly. Kick goes to half forward. McDonald. Garland feeding it through. Salem. Can he poke it to the next man along the line? Kent. The ball is over the line and out of bounds. And there is Craig Kelly trying to support a trendy beard these days, Jace.
And the lovely mum Meredith, affectionately known as Moo. It's still one of the modern wonders of the world that the buzzard was able to land her.
A proud day for the Kelly family.
It is great to see them here supporting young Jake, who certainly hasn't looked out of place.
No, he's had to fight his way through as a rookie.
He's smiling now because we thought the camera went off.
Just on Christian Salem, boys, he kicked that ball about 10 seconds ago. He actually rolled his left ankle. He's in the hands of the trainers here on the boundary line at the moment.
They've had a few woes, haven't they, the D's, injury-wise. Be interesting to see if it takes its toll as the day continues. They've had a crack right from the start, Melbourne. Kicked the first 3 goals. And since then, it's been a really tight struggle. Adelaide just have its nose in front. Just 3 points the difference, though. Under 4 minutes remaining. Can they hang tough, the D's here, late in the second quarter? Garland.
Catch that.
Skies it up. Gives everyone a run at it. Dawes not bad in that situation. It's really good. Almost took the mark. Douglas. A little bit of whiplash through there. Kent just hacked it forward. Could have gone anywhere. And Talia, safety first, through for a behind.
Vandenberg had 10 touches in the first quarter for Melbourne. He's had zip in the second.
Lumumba's had 10 in the second term, so he's getting plenty of it.
Down the middle now. Jens spotted Thompson. He's led to the space. He's only got Cross in attendance, so it shouldn't be a worry in terms of pace. And they've got it clear now. Henderson to hit up. Jenkins comes over the top of Dunn. Didn't quite get out the back.
Well done, Leader Dunn.
Yeah, well done. They can contain the damage. Jeremy Howe playing a big role in that as well. The ball on the way out. Tough for Brayshaw. Sloan. Little handball was good for Lynch. He was instructed to kick it to the square. Betts will fly, but the size and the experience with Lumumba.
Gee, that's a let-off for Jeremy Howe because his clearing kick was a poor one.
Back to the wing it goes. Thompson got in the road of Watts. Jones nowhere to go at all. Stripped of it by Kelly again. Laird was able to utilise the advantage that was given by the great tackle of Kelly. And now Alice Yeoman. Betts again working his wonders in the pocket. And it's over and out.
Getting some free ball, Alice Yeoman, but just not quite finishing it off.
So
13-3 the inside 50s in the second quarter, and only one extra goal for Adelaide.
Really haven't been productive up forward. Jamar, they haven't had that many pure injuries though either, have they?
No, they've been a bit scrappy.
Vandenberg, Howe, the next one off the chain, Kennedy Harris, and then Jones. So job done, although that kick we'll be disappointed in.
Lack of communication between Jones and Dawes. Dawes wanted the long kick over the line, and Jones thought he was going to prop and lead back up at him.
Let's see if they can find it. A different avenue to goal this time, the Crows. In the last 2 minutes, Melbourne have got them manned up, and they've got a couple of extras back there as well. So it won't be easy for Rory Sloane, and he's realising that now. He's kicked to a 1-on-2. Best he could hope for maybe to try and get it over the line and out of bounds. Bernie Vince under some pressure. That's wobbled back to the wing and tracked nicely through the air by Daniel Turner. So a minute 30 now. I think a good result for Melbourne would be just to get to the line at half-time, only 3 points behind. Given the disparity of inside 50s. Lynch with other ideas.
Good lead and a good kick.
Now Sloane's was a viable option for him just on the 50. Instead, he's gone for more of a speculative kick for Cameron. Got some support. Watch out, Dangerfield was coming. Douglas didn't realise, slapped it away. McDonald, adventurous handball under the circumstances. Perhaps not needed. And there's the familiar side of Dangerfield. Back towards a real struggle. Howe, manhandle, free kick.
He's up against Josh Jenkins there, who's probably 20 kilos heavier, and he outbodied him. That's not good enough by Jenkins. You've got to stand your ground at worst and bring the ball to the ground for the small forwards. Well done, Jeremy Howe.
Until then, terrible kick.
45 seconds remaining in this second term. 2 goals won to 1 goal won. Tough struggle. Scotty Thompson, no clear path for any player, but he was just the bull at it there. Maybe the Demons on the counter. Hardigan, Dawes, fluky bounce at the mercy of this Sheeran. Well done, Dawes. A one-man war should have been rewarded, as you said, Jason.
He just dropped it.
Yeah. Yench, and they're on the move again. One last chance here. Eddie Betts to fly. No, it was the height of Jenkins, not quite paid. They're still scrambling for it. Not dead yet, Lumumba. He was winged and it's...
What was he thinking?
Should have handballed it.
Why wouldn't you just let yourself get tackled over the boundary line?
Yeah, or handball it. You can't get in trouble if you handball it.
That was bizarre. I don't know what was going through his head there.
He's had a big quarter, Harry, but
You'd hate to cost a goal here.
Eddie Betts starts in the crowd, kicks from the line, and it's not going to be a goal. So Adelaide's lead will just nudge up to 4 points at the half.
Well, I guess he had the arm.
Yeah, couldn't handball it.
But he didn't need to pick the ball up.
So half-time, and the crowd really a little bit stunned by what they've seen. The Crows have got themselves into the lead, but it's been very heavy work, Mark Rasciuto.
Absolutely it has. Probably a bit surprised, the Crows, but I know they've got a big second half coming up here. Melbourne would be stoked, and they'll be coming to try and pinch the second game in 2 years at the Adelaide Oval.
So the Crows leading by 3. We're going to hear, hopefully, from Patrick Dangerfield on the way off here.
Interesting to see both teams in huddles having a chat. The captains and the team leaders addressing the players. Probably a little more positive for the D's. Maybe the Crows just reiterating a few of the things that they wanted to do but didn't get done. Let's go down to Dicko now with Patrick Dangerfield.
Thanks, Chase. You just huddled there, Paddy. Obviously, the first quarter was a bit of an intense one, but what was said there?
Oh, look, we just spoke about the momentum of the game, and once we do swing it our way, that we really need to play on and really attack the game.
The ground balls, Scott Camporale, quarter time. I mean, that was down, but that quarter you got yourself back in. You spread a bit quicker. You got your hand obviously on the footy.
Yeah, and the scoreboard sort of reflected that. It was a bit tighter. So that's the sort of thing that we're focusing on for the third quarter as well. We need our ground balls to be up and just a bit better method in and around the stoppages.
You mentioned the physicality. You've been right at the coalface of that.
Yeah, it's part of the game, you know. Melbourne are certainly an improved side, and we really need to go up a gear if we're going to be able to compete with them.
Good luck in the second half, Paddy. Back to you, Sandy.
Good on you, Dicko. Thank you very much, Ben Dixon, there at the Adelaide Oval. The margin is 3 points at half-time. Checking scores, Carlton and Essendon. Of course, the other game being played at the moment, and Essendon just starting to flex their muscles in the second quarter. And that margin is 27 points. The margin between Adelaide and Melbourne is just half a straight kick. 3 points is the margin there. We'll take a break. When we come back, the highlights from the MCG.
You're watching Jeep Saturday Live on Fox.
Bruzy, big first half, brought the intensity, the pressure you wanted, but what were the key areas you addressed for the second half?
Yeah, I think we've been able to do that in the first half of both our games. So the test for us is to do it against a really good team. So, you know, they come out really hard in the second quarter, and we were able to match them a bit like they matched us in the first. So, yeah, hopefully we can just keep hitting in and, you know, creating a real tough game.
Pleased with the transition from defence last week. It was a bit stagnant, but this, you're getting it inside 50 and looking dangerous.
Yeah, we are at times. We probably just need to, you know, make sure we get it into our forwards over the top. They're coming up a bit and they press you up, so if you can get it over the top of them, probably had a chance with Hogues and Watsy there, and they're a good tackling team. They come back at the ball really well.
Thanks, Reggie. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Dicko. It's going to be very interesting to see how Melbourne approach this third quarter and when they can carry out the instructions from the coach. I'm sure they would have enjoyed the rest and been able to just get themselves regrouped and ready to go again.
Well, they dropped off in the second half last week, so this is a really good test for them. They need to come out with that same intensity, that same desperation and thirst for the contest that they showed at the beginning of the game, because Adelaide will be expecting to run over the top of them. I'm sure Phil Walsh would have given them a little bit of a touch-up at half-time.
Absolutely, but in Melbourne's favour is the scoring has been to the right of screen so far, so they'll be hoping for a convincing win in this quarter, go into three-quarter time, maybe 2 or 3 goals up and really put the pressure on the Crows to try and get a win on their home deck. So Vince has been fantastic early, boys. We've been talking throughout the call. Vince has had 8 disposals, all kicks. Dangerfield's only had 7 disposals and hardly any impact on the game. Can Vince keep him quiet for the whole game? Paddy Dangerfield will be hoping not.
It's a big win for the D's, isn't it? Plenty of dark cloud around, but no rain at the moment.
Crows, of course, aiming to make it 3 wins in a row to start the season under new coach Phil Walsh. Centre bounce, third quarter. So critical. Thompson did well under the circumstances. Here's Eddie Betts. He really has been everywhere today. Lumumba's going to try and track this one down. Henderson took care of the body, and that allowed Jenkins to come in, but he had to deal with Dunn. Douglas, they're on the back foot here, the Crows, but able to keep control of the footy. Thompson to half-forward Walker. And
well done.
Even better was McDonald in front.
He's playing a super game, isn't he?
Developed into a really good defender.
Certainly took care of Jeremy Cameron last week. Just one freakish goal for Cameron. And from all reports from Melbourne, he's just that sort of defender who wants the challenge of playing on the best players. That fell into the lap of Jenkins. He was able to ease it through Sloan. And again, Lynch is the man they can hit up 70 from goal. Walker says, put it to me on my left side. Well, Cross knew that too. Walker went with one hand. He was ready to get back onto it. So too, though, Jetta. The path was cleared for Smith. He took a chance and had a shot. And he doesn't regret that for one moment. What a goal, what a start.
Super quick by Brodie Smith. One of the best kicks in the competition. Not a noted goal kicker, or not from 30 metres anyway. He's usually peeing him from 50 or 60, running from half back. But this was an interesting kick by Lynch. Wasn't the right choice.
Should he have gone off the deck, Jenna?
Well, in hindsight, yes. But gee, if he went down and picked it up, he would have been fine if he did it clean. Bit of a fumble there, a lot of pressure. 3 Crows around. And as he does, he kicks around the corner and kicked it beautifully.
Just back it out here, Ben.
Brodie Smith trying to engage the crowd too, get them to be a part of it. They've been kept out of it for most of the first half, but now to the third term they've got something to be excited about. Game high as far as the Crows are concerned. The lead now is 9 points.
Oh, he's kicked the wrong way.
He thinks he's still playing for the Crows. Bernie, wake up.
That's funny.
Smith through the middle. Thompson.
Well, it won't be funny if they get a goal out of this 4-0 forward. That's the worry.
Wonder if Tex will go and say something.
He actually, in the first game against Adelaide last year, he ran to the Adelaide bench and they said, over this way.
They have a laugh, don't you? Every now and then you do get disorientated out on the footy field.
Come on, Rob.
I'm trying to look after him.
9 points the difference. Jacobs, it's still danger time for Melbourne. Vandenberg heaves it onto the boot. Jens had a difficult time, but didn't he take it well? Jacobs happy to swing it inboard. Brown goes for the square, goes for Walker. And big Tex, it all opens up for him. The Demons left in his wake. He's put through another.
Let's hope for Demons fans this is not a sign of things to come. They've been fantastic for 60 minutes. There's no excuses to come out at the start of the third quarter and have 2 goals kicked on you in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They've just got to lift. They've got to get back to winning some ground ball, winning a hold of possession. Great pick-up by Jens. Super pick-up. And Brown probably could have run a bit further and had a shot on goal himself. But Tex, a good pack mark and a good goal.
There's a bit of collateral damage too, wasn't there, in the wake as the Melbourne players got in each other's way. Desperate, trying to stop Tex Walker, but they couldn't.
Kick 2 now, Hutto. Hadn't had a big game, but could finish that way.
And we know how electrifying he can be. Jacobs having an influence as well. Was given a lot of latitude by the umpire. Tyson. Lumumba got taken care of.
It's been a bit like that with the holding the ball all day, Hutto, really.
Yeah, I think you're right, Root. Do need them to be consistent, not just within the match, but hopefully within the season. But I guess as long as they're playing it the same way all day, that is the main thing. 7-3 plays 4-6. Cross. Thumped it out, but Douglas was first onto it. They're starting to break this game open, perhaps. Get Melbourne on the outside, as the Giants were able to do last week. Lynch overruns it. Vandenberg redoubles his efforts, gets it onto the left boot, just heaving it up to the wing. And here's Newton with an almost.
You never like to make excuses for sides, but Melbourne is a very young side. I think they've got 10 or 11 blokes under 40 games. But there's no excuse for that at the start of a third quarter with their leaders there telling them at half-time to get back and do the basics. They should be able to come out and get it done.
Jamar gained some territory. It still looks pretty greasy out there on the Adelaide Oval. Garlett sees it over and out. We might get down to Ben Dixon. What's the feel down there, Dicko, as far as the conditions are concerned?
Well, Hutto, it's actually just started raining a bit now, and we know the lights are on. The wind's actually died down, so there's no wind to speak of. I know, Roo, you said there was a bit of an advantage to right of screen, so it's probably level pegging at the moment, but really slippery conditions at the moment. So, as we know, Melbourne are in front and contested ball, so critical Adelaide stay on top of that.
Start of this third term, bench 4 inside 50s to nil in favour of the Crows. They've collected a couple of goals. Lumumba. Here's an opportunity for Melbourne for their forwards. They are outnumbered, as you can see. Hogan being crowded by Henderson. Dawes versus Kelly. Massive difference in experience and size. Vandenberg. They come again. Laird did well to Henderson. Peppering away. Back to half-back. Dangerfield versus 2. Bernie Vince, look at Dangerfield. Willed himself onto the footy and got it out. Doesn't amount to much, or not yet. Alice Yeoman, path cleared for him. McKay, he'll get the legs pumping. Strolls along the wing. Hacks it forward. Puts it out in front.
Got to keep your feet here.
Go chase. McDonald gets there first. The lunge from Walker to no avail. Got it going across. And now the follow-up is good. It's very good from McDonald. They'll be tired legs, though. And he can't escape the clutches of Smith. Did get the handball out. Tyson, straight back into trouble. And Douglas halts his progress. And we'll have a ball up.
Good call about McDonald's legs. Very heavy there. The Crows just needed to try and clear it. Walker was back in the 50 on his own. He still is now. So a good clearance here by Adelaide will set up a scoring opportunity.
Let's see if they can do that. Jacobs slaps it away. McKay for Sloane. They're on their bikes now to half forward. Good strong fist away, wasn't it, from Garland? And frustration there for Cameron.
He will run off when he gets the opportunity, Tom McDonald, because he's got a great tank. For a big bloke, he can seriously run.
To be a great defender in an average side is not easy as well. I mean, he's doing a terrific job so far.
Well, I mean, imagine playing in defence for Melbourne over the last 4 or 5 years.
That's what I mean, yeah.
The ball has just come in relentlessly.
He's getting a bit of practice.
He's certainly getting practice.
Not getting a lot of blokes giving you a chop out either.
Exactly. No third man up.
Well, there was nothing for Angus Brayshaw there. Tyson, they've done remarkably well to get their clearance. Vince to half forward. Kicks it the right way this time, which is handy. Jacobs, the crowd letting him know there's a Crows free.
Well, that was Dangerfield and Vince again.
It was to Adelaide's disadvantage, really, wasn't it?
Well, it held. Oh, it's a 50-metre penalty, is it? No, it's coming back here. Well, that's a disadvantage to Adelaide, I would have thought.
Yeah. There'll be no bad message from Paul Roos down to Bernie for that one.
Crowd's happy that Dangerfield's got a free kick, but they had the ball in the middle of the ground and they had a little bit of space to work into. Now it got held up.
Gee, the rain's coming down now, boys.
Yep.
Henderson, time to assess.
Who's for Bernie Vince as he comes off.
It means he's doing a good job.
Yep.
Kick fell short. Thompson. He's shown his value this afternoon, particularly in these sort of conditions. Oh, Sloane put his body on the line. Did expect nothing else. Salem maybe ducked the head slightly, but he was playing the footy. Argent 15 there. Mainly courtesy of a couple of goals in this quarter. Nathan Jones enters the fray. Was that a throw?
Scoop.
Against Sam Jacobs. So it's Jamar's ball. He'll look to handball it, no doubt. Kick goes straight down the line. Talia. They come for him, and we'll have a ball.
They've got a bit of an issue at the moment, the D's, because every time they go that long kick forward, it's to an outnumbered contest. Now they're conceding that one loose in defence. That's going to make scoring very, very difficult.
Sloane. Jones. Thrust and parry on the wing. Great tackle from Sloane. The dispossessed Lumumba. Everything under pressure. Douglas just smashes it. Taylor Walker. Can he dictate terms here? Well, he stood face to face with McDonald. Well done by Tom McDonald. Broke even. Comes to Douglas. 60 from goal. That's paid. Jenkins.
Good kick.
Well, no, he's pulled the kick. It was beautifully directed and just been able to sneak down there. Brown into the 50 and he can line up for goal.
It's the value of experience, isn't it, Jason? A younger player with not much experience probably would have bombed it in long there, but lowered his eyes and found Brown.
They've just started to create the loose player, the Crows, in this quarter. They've started with that loose in defence, which has given them opportunities to rebound, and then you get the overlap. You're able to draw players in and give it over the top. On this occasion, just to the fat side, Luke Brown pushing forward into space. Good vision from Richie Douglas.
Not a big goal kicker, Lukey Brown. This will test him.
No, just 2 goals in 48 games. This is in the rain from 45 metres. They cheer at home. They're up and running now, the Crows.
Got a huge start to the third quarter. We're less than 10 minutes in. They're going into the breeze and into the rain. And they've kicked 3 goals from 6 inside 50s. Let's have a look at the hit from Douglas. Could have easily have been to Jones's upper region as well, but that was good defending by McDonald. Made Walker do something he didn't know what to do really, but Douglas here lowered the eyes and found Luke Brown at 40 metres out. There's Lukey Brown on his 3rd goal in 48 games, so good kick by him.
Jacobs. Jamar. Nathan Jones got dumped. He hasn't had a touch in this 3rd quarter.
They've really got on top in the clearances, Hutto.
He's left in the circle of the Adelaide Oval. Very slow to get up is the Melbourne skipper. Well, you see Garland limp away.
I think he was carrying an injury last week. Yeah, probably not 100%, but
he looked all right in the first half, though, but sometimes you can have things to help that.
You desperately want to stay out there, but he doesn't look comfortable at all. Tyson cleared it for Bernie Vince. Lumumba. They're threatening the Crows here. Well done, Tyson, though. Hartigan should be able to capture this, although in the greasy conditions, nothing certain. He's got some options on the outer wing.
Ordinary kick.
Yeah, well, didn't make life particularly easy here for Jake Kelly, who had to run around the ball. He's in all sorts of trouble. Demons should score here. They need to make it a goal. Capitalise. Brayshaw was tackled at the last moment. Still it's open. And finally they're able to heave it through for a goal. And it's Hogan.
Well, he showed good initiative there, Jesse Hogan. He just made it up as it happened. He had to sort of play that by ear as a scrubby kick. He was looking to bend down and pick it up. Then he thought, I've just got to sink the slipper. And poor old Jay Kelly got caught 1 against 2. He was always going to be in trouble. Really good chase here from Douglas on Brayshaw. Means it's a scuffed kick. But he was bending down for it and then thought, oh, it's in the right spot. I'll just tow it through. Good thinking from Jesse Hogan.
Nathan Jones copying it from all angles there.
He copped the high one there.
You mentioned the word initiative there, Jason. He just looks like a footballer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Really understands the game, Hogan.
Well, what about after he kicked the goal? He was trying to get him up.
Yes, he was.
Played 2 or 3 games. That's leadership from a young fella.
Brody Smith almost could have been penalised as he took them on and was stripped of the ball. But as we've said, they've been fairly lenient of the player with the footy today. Maybe adjusting to the conditions. It's been taken into account. But it's over and out. Inside 50s for the quarter. 6-2. 3 goals to 1 has been the result of all of that.
Noel Hartigan needs to watch his kicking even more so in these conditions. He just can't try anything tricky because it's going to be slippery. He's just got to do the basics well.
Oh, Vincent ran crashing into Dangerfield again at that contest. Dangerfield relentless, though, with his aggression at the footy. Squirts out Melbourne's way. Brayshaw did well, stood his ground under severe duress. Hurried kick, though, by Thompson. Torpedoed it back in towards Van Berlo. Lumumba difficult to contend with. They're sliding in. Who can keep their feet? Sloan and Jones. The good combat continues here at the Adelaide Oval. Melbourne being forced to dig really deep. Rain tumbling down. The Adelaide Crows, we've seen how potent they can be. So the pressure really on the Demons now. They've kicked the last goal, though. Jones and Sloan watch as the ball comes back into play. Jenkins got there against Dawes. The secondary ruckmen were going at it. Lynch feeding it for Douglas. Plenty going on off the ball. Douglas curls it back inside the 50. Sloan will keep coming. Here's Walker. Gave it back to Cameron. Charlie misses to the left. Would have been an outstanding goal.
Yeah, would have been another setup by Tex Walker. I tell you what, there's Ben Dixon going down there in this rain. Jason, his hair would be getting wet. He'd be all over the shop, surely.
Roo, I've just looked at the satellite and it's set in. And JC, if you wouldn't mind, just pop down the car and get me brolly, will you?
It's going to be tough conditions for the rest of the afternoon, so this makes it a real slog. So body behind the ball. Don't try and do anything fancy. Don't finesse it. Get the ball going forward. Very simple football.
Gee, they were important goals, weren't they, for Adelaide at the start of this quarter. Kicked 2 before we blinked. 3 goals to 1 for the term. It's going to be heavy going from here.
A lot of third man ups too now with the rucks wrestling. So as a midfielder, you must make sure you don't allow your opponent to jump over the ruckman.
And from the throw, Jenkins tried to guide it in the path. Thompson, hasn't Brody Smith been good after what he went through last week? Oh, and he's down again, Dangerfield. That one maybe an accident.
It was an accident because he was very quick to apologise, Garl. He said, sorry, mate, I've just pole-axed you accidentally.
Didn't seem to interest Dangerfield his apology too much, did it?
He made a little more of it than perhaps there was there.
Blood rule, boys.
Plenty of pointing going on as they work out their positions. Just opening up the forward 50, the Crows a bit here. Now a couple of them pushing back. Eddie Betts is down in the goal square if it happens to go that way.
Oh! Good shepherd from Vincent Sloan.
Took him out of it. Now Brayshaw with great authority. He's got Kent to the right. He might just kick it into the space and hope they can run onto it. Garland, this should suit him.
Oh, how good was that?
Pulled it back too far.
Just too far.
Unlucky.
Good footy, Melbourne. Good contest by Vince again on Sloan.
Smart by Brayshaw too, wasn't it?
Yeah. He just turned beautifully. Have a look at the shepherd there.
Nothing wrong with that.
From Vincent Sloan.
It was reasonably high contact.
Yeah, it was close.
Kick goes aimed up at Thompson. Nathan Jones. He could have tried to put it on the chest of the leading Kent. Instead, he goes for goal.
Ooh.
And very nearly. He got a word from Kent too.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad lead.
But a good 5 minutes here, Melbourne.
Kicked a goal in that time, and maybe just putting some doubts in Adelaide's mind with the margin back at 14 and unbelievable conditions to be playing in. That's a hurried kick. Alice Yeoman was clever. Tapped it into the path of McKay, who couldn't collect it with the hands. He went with the foot. They've outnumbered them here. Cross. He thrives on these conditions. Howe, Lumumba. We can hardly see them on the outer side. It's teeming down at the Adelaide Oval. And there's a sneaky little handball by Henderson off to Brown. High ball. You can hear the rain coming through the effects mic. How you going down there, Dicko?
Not great, Hutto. I've got plastic bags. I've got anything that I can get under at the moment. And I've got the old tarp. I am drenched. You've got no idea how wet I am at the moment. Things I do for you boys upstairs.
Good to see you bravely just standing up to it all down there.
Spent $535 million on the Adelaide Oval. We can't find a box for the boundary rider.
It's one of the traditions of football broadcasting. Ruin long may it continue.
I'm not sure how much game he's seeing from under that tarp.
No special comments this quarter.
It's Laird's ball. No, maybe he's going back to Douglas.
It's still only a 15-point margin, so it feels like Adelaide's got control of the game. A 14-point margin, I should say. Feels like they've got control of the game, but they're only a few kicks out of it. You know what I mean? So it's not. They just need to win a couple of clearances and get something going.
Jacobs and Jamar. Smith and Crossweight at the back. Alice Yeoman, Lumumba, watching guard.
Must be a little bit slow on the old Adelaide scoreboard here, Hutto. Yeah. The old manual one where they put the numbers up. It still says 52-37.
Yeah. Well, we don't need that at the end of the day. That will cause all sorts of controversy if it's close. Tyson. And again, it's over and out. Gee, Dangerfield's copped a lot, hasn't he, today? Just watching him again there.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you play like that, because you can use an enormous amount of energy and get nothing for it. You got to be smart about it. When you're wrestling and fighting and trying to shrug off three blokes, you just chew up juice.
McKay guarded by Vandenberg. Good little victory there for the Demons. Some territory gain. 9 minutes and a little more remaining in this third quarter. Absorbing contest. The conditions obviously having a big part in that. Jacobs, Alice Yeoman can't capture it. We could be stuck on that wing for the next 10 minutes the way it's going.
Winning the contested ball and ground balls, Melbourne, in this quarter.
It's all one-on-one back in the the forward halves of the ground, which is interesting. So either side, if they can take it with some sort of system, will have a genuine scoring chance if they can get it in quick enough.
Farmers will be happy.
Not a good day for drying washing, though, is it, particularly, Ruth? The ball goes forward. Newton versus Kelly. And he's happy to see it over and out. 8-4-52 to 5-8-38. Jacobs. Jones. Oh, straight into a wall. Called Sam Jacobs.
It's really going to test the players, these conditions now. You don't tend to get reward for a lot of the work that you're doing. You're going to get caught a lot. You're not going to be able to pick up the ball cleanly or use it cleanly. Just got to play those little 1%ers. Just keep doing the right things.
Right to the advantage. Can they utilise it? Alice Yeoman backs himself to do that. Kicks wide. Walker's got a good look at it. And has he marked it? No.
Fumbled it over the line. He marked it, but the completion of the chest mark was over the boundary line.
Melbourne are going to hang tough here for 8 minutes. Another goal will nearly pull it out of reach for the last quarter. There's the mark, but there's the fumble.
Good decision by the boundary.
Yeah, well done. They can't afford another goal here, Melbourne.
Jacobs pokes it.
Got to concentrate on every single stoppage, get your structure right, be in the right place so that there can be no clear ball here, because a clear ball will be a shot on goal.
Well, they've got a couple of forwards that have gone up the stoppage, and that means there's a couple of Adelaide players loose in defence now, so the quick kick out probably going to come back very quickly.
Jacobs, cross. Big contest here, led outside, but did well, put the body on the line. Brayshaw again.
Did well to get a boot on that.
Did wonderfully well. Oh, Kennedy Harris almost. Henderson having the same difficulty. Treacherous conditions. Laird confronted by 2 Ds. Went for the boundary, the haven, and found it. With no response from the umpire.
It's a shame Kennedy Harris couldn't have taken that sliding mark, because that player streaming forward would nearly have been a certain goal.
3 goals to 1 for the quarter, and then the heavens open. Jacobs tried to guide it down to Thompson. Hacked forward by Douglas. Up for grabs. Outnumbered, but Van Berlo got the kick, as you can see. Straight into the lap of Howe.
Good switch. Good
switch. To get it to Garland. Will he go well? They've got some numbers, and inside 50. They can get it through to Bernie Vince, but it's not going to make it. He was all on his own. Not anymore. Brayshaw.
Well done. They've out-muscled him here, Melbourne.
Really emerged in this quarter. Tyson had to take it away from him. And that kicks.
Oh, is that 50? No.
Again, it was just that poor kick from Garland that missed the target before going forward. They've got themselves back in the contest, Melbourne. Just need to get some reward for what they're doing.
Douglas with a prominent fist knuckles it over the line. And the standoff continues here. They got out to a 20-point margin, but whittled it back to 14. And we've got 7 minutes remaining in a tense third quarter. Jamar. Well, could have gone either way, couldn't it, in there? There was lots of players holding each other, but free kick goes to Richard Douglas, who's been very good in this quarter. 8 disposals for him. Goes for territory. Melbourne well placed here to respond. Just slightly misjudged by McDonald, and it's over the line and out of bounds. So margin stands at 14.
Lone seagull in the area, I think.
Tough conditions for everyone. Jacobs leaned over the top. Here he is again.
There's his mates.
Jamar was the man who got it down. Hogan came crashing through. Cross the next one. Under fire. And he's back.
It's a funny rule, that one, isn't it? It's...
He actually picked him up off the ground and threw him back into the ground.
It's a funny interpretation of that rule.
Cross. Lots of Crow defenders there. Sloan, unencumbered, takes the mark. Now, will he be aggressive here and switch and try and maintain possession? He will do that.
Well, he's going to be kicking to a contest, or he goes over the top to McKay in space.
Henderson, he tries that. There's an element of risk, but the reward is great. Cameron. Ooh, a little bit lucky, perhaps. Salem reluctantly gives it back to him. It's gone straight for Dawes. Can he capitalise? It's over to Kent. Vacant square. The ball's on its way. The goal umpire does not have to move.
Well,
catastrophic for the Crows, but the D's are coming.
I'll tell you what, they got a couple in the late in that first quarter, Adelaide, from a silly mistake, and that one's just levelled the score a little bit. A kick off one step in the wet is not something that should be tried when you're kicking to the middle of the ground and opening up the whole goal front. And they've paid the ultimate price. They're right back in it here, Melbourne. It's only 8 points. I guess that's the things that young, inexperienced players can do when the pressure's on. Charlie Cameron will regret that.
Melbourne, though, might be just what they need. Thompson takes it out wide, and the chase is on. McKay's got this covered to his own advantage. What a response this would be. McKay, he's done just the same thing. Saw the open goal, found the open goal.
Well, that's far too easy. Far too easy reply. It's great play by the Crows. Paul Rouge would be wondering how the structure breaks down that a high clearance kick like that can just be gathered up. It's just off the deck virtually, and then there's a turnover. Look at this high kick that is gathered up, and then he runs uninterrupted. Jenkins keeps Dunn away from it. No one able to run him down. No one pushes up from inside the defensive 50. It's a terrific finish from McKay, but poor defensive structure.
Well, a great goal by David McKay. Would have been a bit under pressure with his selection. He's had a couple of quiet weeks, but 16 disposals and an important goal has been a great turn to form for David McKay.
Kick goes into half forward for the Demons. Watts was able to run. He got through the first couple, but just not aware of what was coming. And David McKay, you mentioned, just had the 9 disposals last week, Roo.
He's had 9 tackles today, if you don't mind. That'd be a PB for him for sure. Not known for that part of the game, but he's having a real purple patch. Been loose behind the play a little bit and running through the wing as well. So very good performance so far.
It's been one of those tough afternoons for Jack Watts. Things just haven't worked for him.
Brings a bit on himself though, Jace, doesn't he?
Yep. Lynch hacks it in. Trouble there. Lumumba back into the middle. Very vulnerable here, Melbourne, if the Crows can get a handle on it. Well done, Jacobs, did the best he could. Jenkins, back for Talia, bundles it up, kicks it forward, but it fell into the lap of Tom McDonald, who you can see trying to steady his teammates down, and then decides to press go, takes it to his mate in Garland.
He's a good reader of the play, Tom McDonald. He outdid Walker there with that mark, and he did that down the other end before, so he doesn't just watch his opponent, he watches the ball.
Dawes in amongst 3 Crows. Daniel Talia, well restrained, and there's no easy escape from there.
It's never fun. Tape around the head like that.
The head trainers, they go a bit crazy every now and then.
Thompson improvised with good effect. Garland, here's Van Berlo straight ahead. Went to ground without the ball. Play on. Thompson comes again. Relentless stuff. Jones doing the same for his Demons. Trying to keep them out of trouble. They do momentarily. Smith, here's Paddy Dangerfield. Wet or dry, doesn't matter. Kicks it forward. Demons lining up again. McDonald sensing the peril. Just somehow got it over the line and will have a throw in. Margin still stands at 14 here at the Adelaide Oval. 4 goals to 2 for this third term.
3 minutes 45 to go. Melbourne trying not to let Adelaide get a goal.
Howe. Jones spins out, gets the handball away. Dunn hemmed in. I think pretty much got it over the line as he chose. And they've got it out almost to the defensive 50 mark. Rory Sloane with 21 disposals. Scott Thompson 18 for the Crows. Lumumba with 22 and Jones 18 for the Demons. 9-4, plays 6-8. Bernie Vince. Kent. Unrealistic. It was a genuine attempt for the mark, wasn't it?
Like it. Doesn't mean you don't give a free kick away if you don't touch the ball, but he nearly did touch it, I suppose.
Laird tries to hit a target. That's hard to do in these conditions. The 2 ruckmen happen to be standing there. Lynch off the left boot. He's guided it so well. Couldn't have done more with it. Tough for Walker, though. Clearing kick. Oh, Hogan. Suddenly the Demons. Chances opening up. He kicks. And they're closer to goal. Garland got to pick it up. reasons he's overrun it the first time. He's been legs
taken out. I was going to be critical of Jeff Garlett for going to ground. He had to keep his feet. They had a 2-on-1. There was a fumble, but then the sliding player took his legs out. That's the new rule. Now, he's had trouble with his set shots, Jeff Garlett. He just has to kick this.
Wet ball should go through this one, Jose.
Gets him back to 8 points. This is a massive kick. Directly in front, 35 out. You must convert.
And that'll all be going through his head. He just has to concentrate on the job at hand. Kick straight through the footy from 35 metres out. Crowd trying to get in his head, and they do. And he's missed.
Wow, it's woeful.
1 goal, 3.
Makes 4 goals, 9 for the year for Jeff Garlett. Jacobs, he'll take their turn. And the ball goes over and out again.
It's hard enough when you're coming from the bottom of the ladder and you're trying to take on the teams above you, but when you miss gilt-edged opportunities like that.
Especially when he's so highly skilled, Jose. It's in the mind, isn't it? It's all in the mind. Nothing wrong with the technique.
Jomar, right down. Bernie Vince, as he sat on the ball. No.
In terms of the ball drop, anyway, he's obviously running right or doing something. He's got a beautiful technique.
Adelaide free kick for off the ball here for high contact. So that's against Dean Kent for a push in the face.
And Talia getting into him. As Thompson kicks to the wing. Walker, he's got inside his head, I reckon, McDonald, hasn't he? You can see that Walker's actually explained what's happening there. He's sort of second-guessing.
Well, he's starting to look for McDonald, is what Walker's doing.
Yeah, he's a little bit frustrated.
A
little bit frustrated. Probably not the right choice by Thompson to be kicking short onto a leading player. They're having a go behind the play. Have a look at this.
There's sideshows everywhere here at the Adelaide Oval. It's such great tight footy. Conversation. Continues.
I hate those lectures. Just pay a free kick if you see it, otherwise you don't need to say anything.
Melbourne players converging on the ball.
That's the best form of communication, Jose, isn't it?
Nathan Jones. Adelaide fans not happy when they see the determination from the umpire.
Nearly 33 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Crowd of over 43,000 at the Adelaide Oval on a damp Saturday afternoon. Jacobs could have marked it. Jumped up there. No one with him at all, and he thumps it over the line.
Kicking along up the line, Mark Jamar's got to get there to make a contest. It's a couple of times the players have overestimated how far the player kicking the ball can actually kick it with a wet ball in these conditions.
Very sore Nathan Jones comes from the ground as well. This game taking its toll. But Melbourne have come for the fight, and they've lasted 3 rounds so far with 1 to go. They are within range, only 13 points the difference.
I've liked the way Angus Brayshaw's attacked the ball a few times. He looks good.
He's had 10 disposals,
game, yep.
And most of them have been...
He finds it, he attacks it. Looks to have pretty clean hands.
Frost subbed out early.
Half a dozen tackles too, boys.
Jacobs and Jamar.
There he is again.
Yeah, getting into the right spots.
Good tackle.
Yep. Douglas felt it. A minute to go.
We haven't had too much practice at training in the rain, both sides. A bit of a shock for them today.
Sloane. Walker continues that duel with McDonald, and again the honours to the Demon. Bernie Vince. Hogan looks likely back with a flight. McKay.
It seems like that ball really held up, almost like the breeze has changed, because that ball dropped a long way short of where it looked like it was going to go to start with. The contest of Hogan and his opponent had to really sprint at the ball.
Takes the conservative path, and the ball over the line and out of bounds. 28 seconds to go. I know we've said it a few times, but there's some tired boys out there already.
Oh yeah, wet track, heavy legs,
last
lot of
quarter.
bruises.
Will be very interesting.
Put 4 points on the line. Best game David McKay's played for a long time for the Crows.
18 disposals for McKay. Douglas has been busy as well in just...
Oh! Oh, that's Vince on Dangerfield again.
Was that not a free kick?
And they're now going to Vince, and they might give away a free if they're not careful, which you wouldn't want to do with 15 seconds remaining.
Well, how 3 umpires didn't see that? Anyway, play on.
This time he tries to get some freedom. Garlett fed it to Vince. 7 seconds to go. It'll need something special from here for the D's. Dawes, 2 seconds remaining. And the siren sounds. Melbourne looked like they're on the ropes, but they have come and they've given everything. What have they got left to give in this last quarter? It's getting a bit rough. It's getting a bit willing. Jones and Sloan and others get involved on the 3/4 time siren. Jenkins is there. They're coming from everywhere. And this is where it's hard for the umpires to do anything. They've got no real power in this situation.
There's 36 players in there. Yeah. They're all pulling jumpers, pushing and shoving.
Yeah. I think there might be more than 36. All the ones off the bench are there as well.
Jakey Kelly just got thrown out. Oh, well, not too much going on other than pulled jumpers.
Tensions are high at the Adelaide Oval. We are in for a willing last quarter. And Melbourne are right in the fight. 9-4-58 Adelaide. 6-9-45 Melbourne. 13 points, 43,000 and you after the break. Well, anyone who thought this was going to be an easy victory for the Adelaide Crows to notch up their third have been in for a huge surprise today. Melbourne kicked the first 3 goals of the game and they came with a fighting spirit, and that has not stopped. Bernie Vince has been the villain, but he has given Dangerfield a really tough afternoon, and his team is not giving in yet, and things got pretty willing on the 3/4 time siren. It was a quarter in which the Crows kicked 2 early goals, which proved absolutely vital as the rain came. 4-1 to 2-3 for the term, and as a result, Adelaide have extended its lead to 13 points as we head into the last quarter. Well, can the Demons stay in this contest? We might quickly get down to Ben Dixon first.
Thanks, Hutto. Hats off to Melbourne and the intensity they brought. I spoke to Paul Roos at half-time. He said, we need the 4 quarters. Last week it was only 1 quarter, but hats off to them. How are they going to get themselves this game of footy in the 4 points is the teasing distance. Forwards are critical here. Can they just give Adelaide a bit more room to tease that kick into the corridor? They get those turnovers like they did in that quarter. They're going to get their 2 or 3 goals here and maybe win this game of footy.
Last quarter from the Adelaide Oval. Crows 9-4. Demons 6-9. Jamar. Jones versus Thompson. And there's Bernie Vince again.
He's playing a super game, Bernie Vince, though. I mean, there's a lot of physical contact. He's playing on the edge like a good tagger does when he's trying to come up against a better player. But at this stage, he's clearly beating Dangerfield, nullifying his influence.
Vandenberg swooping on it, though. McKay. Neville Jetta. The fist came from Garland. Vandenberg. It's a touch ball. The Crows don't realise it. They do now. Laird safely to McKay. It's the outside of the boot, making it tough for Sloan. McDonald hunted. Salem kicked, smothered by his own teammate accidentally. And that opens things up for the Crows. Oh, the kick comes sliding in. Made the sub, the Crows. Dangerfield around the corner. And it's through from behind, so we saw right in that passage of play.
Charlie Cameron's been subbed out of the game, the young fella. Kicked a goal in the first half, but cost him a goal with that cross as well.
Lyndon Dunn, as much on as he can. Aim for cross. Vandenberg. And it beats even Dangerfield over the line and out of bounds.
It's going to be a cracker of a last quarter here. So much feeling. Melbourne just need a goal to really put the pressure on Adelaide. And Adelaide proved you can score at that other end with a few quick goals in that third quarter.
Ball came flukily out the back. Lumumba had a moment. Hard to hang on to the footy the best of times this afternoon.
Fine, guys, thank you.
Melbourne have thrashed Adelaide in contested ball 130 to 106. Ground balls, which is what Phil Walsh measures, 78 to 103. So Melbourne convincing in those two areas.
There's Wright with a little manoeuvre. It was clever. Oh, got through the cracks, out the back. Here's Taylor Walker, was going to kick, was going to handball. He kicked, he goal.
Well, I'd like to see a replay of that because it looked like Dangerfield took a couple of Melbourne players out and just moved the pack. I'm not quite sure whether it was legal or not, but what it did do was open it up for Taylor Walker. You just have a look at Paddy Dangerfield as he crashes the pack and this kick comes in. He just takes a couple of them out of it.
Yeah, could have been a free, but not paid.
Opened it up nicely though.
Good finish for Walker.
Lynch played a part too, didn't he?
Yeah, a bit stiff there, but smart by Walker.
He's ended up with, well, he's got 3 goals so far. So despite all the outstanding play by McDonald, he's still kicked 3. So the Demons now have the job ahead of them. 20 points they've got to come from.
And that's the difference with Garlett missing an easy shot on goal and Walker nailing a couple of 50-50s.
Thanks, boys. Straight up.
It's a huge mental difference when you kick a goal or miss one that you should kick.
Yeah, Melbourne 6 goals 9. They'll be ruining that.
Same scoring shots as Adelaide, and they're 20 points down.
Lumumba weaved his way through. So here's an opportunity, although fumbled at the last moment by Henderson. Watts goes to ground. Thompson gave it to Garlett. Didn't have time to be concerned about the shot for goal, but it's the same result, unfortunately, for Jeff Garlett. And it's another behind. That's 1 goal for the former Blue.
We talked about those ground balls and contested possessions. What happened there? Out the full.
Out the full.
Big shot on goal. Tough pocket, that one, to kick one.
Jack.
Young Jake Kelly.
Keep coming. You got to come closer. On my arm. Keep coming.
Inside 50s, 42-28 in favour of Adelaide. So still getting plenty of opportunities.
What's complaining that he doesn't have a runner.
So he should be able to go back along the fence line. You can't make a bloke kick off 2 steps.
Yeah. Going to make it difficult. He's had to kick off about 2.5 to the top of the square. Jacobs had the arm dragged out at the last moment. Play on. Melbourne swarming here. Can they get? Oh, they fight amongst themselves. Brayshaw, such determination. Great to see the kid going so hard and looking like such an accomplished player already. The ball over the boundary, courtesy of Smith and Wright. And now we'll have a throw in. $19 points, the margin. Next goal, absolutely vital for Melbourne. And it's out of bounds on the full again. Already Smith has been a good player for them. There's Taylor Walker on the mark.
How do you look at that battle, Jason? I mean, Walker's kicked 3 goals in a low-scoring game, but McDonald's been really, really good.
I still think McDonald's been one of Melbourne's best, but as you say, Walker has found a way to contribute. 3 goals in these conditions is excellent.
Jacobs, Salem. Oh, he summed it up so well. Kick, though, didn't match the intent. Watts at the full ring around. Howe.
Good kick.
Yeah, it was for Kent. And the mark safely taken.
Got to take their opportunities, Melbourne. They can't afford to miss too many in this last quarter. They're going to have to kick 4 more goals than Adelaide to win the game, and they've only kicked 6 for the game so far.
This will be a long kick just inside the 50-metre arc as well in these conditions with a heavy ball.
The wind has changed a little bit. The flag is now blowing to that northern end.
Dean Kent comes in. It's not going to make it. So that should be pretty easy for the Crows' defence, and so it proves.
That was a good kick. It was online. Just couldn't get the journey.
Just ebbing away now to 18 points between these two teams.
Thanks, Jack. Spot on, mate.
Yench. It's fallen a bit short, but to the favour of Scott Thompson. Didn't get the job done. Jones. He did well.
Well done.
And no, not 15. That's a tough call. Quick hands from Newton Lumumba. Put the step on Kelly. And kicked it across the face of goal, out on the full.
You know, that was a tough call, and the umpire called it before it was marked.
Yeah.
And he didn't allow for the fact that the player was running back while the ball was coming to him. He calls play on while the ball's in the air, and I don't think you can do that. You've got to wait to see. By the time the players actually run back another 3 steps and marked it, it's line ball for 15 metres.
Oh, Dangerfield somehow got their cross, got taken care of by Thompson. As the numbers multiply again, and we'll have another ball up. So it's going to be a grind in this last term. Thompson.
One ball, thank you.
Definitely got the younger side, Melbourne. Can they go 4 quarters in the wet?
And they copped some heavy. I mean, both sides have copped the heavy. Melbourne are dealing with a few injuries, but they've fought all the way. There's no sign of that's changing right now. Sloan back to the wing. No one really went for the mark. Everyone looking at each other, and eventually it's out of bounds.
You wonder if players have changed their boots as well, Jason. We have had a fair bit of rain throughout the game, although we did have it before, so they would have been in their mind.
Still a good service. We haven't seen that many players slip over when they wanted to keep their feet.
Moomba got it down, but it doesn't end up being to the advantage of the Demons. Instead, Smith gets it into Dangerfield, and they start to burst and spread. Betts is buzzing around deep. Alice Yeoman will know that his kick only 3 quarters of the way in, but enough for Lynch to hold on.
It's be a good test too to see how far he can kick the ball in the conditions, because he'll kick from the 50-metre arc directly in front.
Need a bit of tall timber for the Melbourne down on the line. McDonald's worried about Walker. They need a ruckman to get down there. Chris Dawes is bolting down there at the moment to try and give a bit of presence on the goal line. Huge chance to get fingers to this if he doesn't quite nail it.
Tom Lynch, 18 points, the difference. That's about to change, but by how much? Just a solitary behind. And now it's 19. Lyndon Dunn to himself. A change of mind, decided to go bit by bit. McDonald, longer for Garland. The 2 Crows each other's way a little bit, but it's over the line and out of bounds. So the Crows have to keep an aggressive mindset here, as we see one of your favourite Feldwins there, Jace.
It wasn't exactly a spoil, was it?
Well, the Crows still have to try and score. I mean, they don't need to take unnecessary risks, Hutto, but still got to play attacking footy. You can't defend a quarter of footy.
Newton back to the middle. It opens up for Brown. Slick little hands. Yench makes the most of it. It is at the back. Walker's ready if it gets through. It's against Dangerfield. Goes to Garland. It's unusual in that circumstance.
Well, he gets the job on Dangerfield when he goes forward.
Takes something off the kick, because you could see that Jeremy Howe was out there, beautifully snared by Douglas. He's away. Crows inside again. Watch out, Dangerfield. They're also swooping there with Betts. Betts, still Eddie, able to palm it off. Alice Yeoman, low ball, straight ball. Crows have the answers.
We said earlier on that Alice Yeoman hadn't made the most of some of his possessions. That was a classy finish. A real good finish.
He's kicked 2 fantastic goals, hasn't he?
He has. Let's have a look at the good work here. Firstly by Richard Douglas for just realising that in the wet the ball can go over the back. Check side on the run to try and centre. Eddie Betts gets in and under. Great give. And straightened up Ellis Yeoman.
Gee, that's a good finish.
Yeah, smart play. Good lesson, isn't it, Jason? When you're trying to kick a goal, if you run straight at the goal and have a straight leg, you got the best chance of it actually going where you want it to.
Particularly with a wet, heavy ball, which really won't bend much in the air at all.
Dawson, Newton, Talia doing what good defenders do. There's still desperate stakes there. McKay, he tried to improvise as well. Didn't have quite the same effect. Jones cleared a path for Tyson. Demons not going away yet. Vandenberg's a big kick of the footy. Unfortunately, couldn't handle it cleanly. Now Lynch with a genuine one-on-one on Salem, and you've got to pay that. That's almost an accidental mark.
Well, he looked like he was nearly going to pay a free kick. The umpire put the whistle to the mouth, and then Lynch did the job for him. Have a look at that. That's incredible.
They shared a bit of it, didn't they, on the way? Rory's prepared to bounce, and bounce again. Sloane, rampaging Rory Sloane, kicks towards full forward, and wasn't it the best directed kick? And Howe was able to work it to the outer side of the ground. So the Demons, they have to keep coming. And McDonald, adventurous, and they're on.
Gee, Garlett's on his own. Can't get it to him, though.
Tyson, it's a funny angled kick. It's got through eventually to Garlett, and then he overruns it. Kelly, back for Laird. And I think they were just a bit concerned about what might have happened there. Safety first, it's over the line.
Well, Melbourne, they've got to take the risk. You talk about Adelaide, what they do, Hutto, but Melbourne have to take risks if they want to win the game. Now, that if it comes off all well and great, but if it doesn't, they might give a few opportunities to Adelaide. So it could open right up here, or Melbourne might kick a couple.
Thumped inside. Hogan taken care of well by Henderson. It cleared the space, but the kicks from Talia is going to be well answered by Bernie Vince.
Oh, they love him, Roo.
Well, 50,000 did before today, but they might have lost 50,000 friends.
Oh, well done.
Wow.
Well done, Jesse Hogan. He just took the initiative away from Daniel Talia. Talia was looking for body. He ran straight past him, ran around him, jumped in front, and just judged the drop of the ball better. Just catches Talia flat-footed looking for contact.
Just out a couple of
yeah. And takes it in the hands and the conditions. That's a really good mark.
On that line. Back with me, guys. Just here with me. 15 seconds.
So, this is to keep it interesting. Jesse Hogan. Looking for his third. Oh, he's made the goal umpire work. That's a behind.
Strange run up, Jace. He went back 30 metres when he was 10 metres out. He started a couple of times.
And then ended up kicking about 15 metres. Nearly off the side of the boot.
Wait for the call.
Obviously not going to win the game if they cough up these easy shots on goal.
Had Jacobs in his sights on the kick in. Kennedy Harris. Jones. Oh, touched. Done it hard today, Nathan Jones. He still managed to have 21 possessions. He's copped some punishment along the way. So the margin stands at 24. Jamar. Thompson, cross. Just hurls it out. Garland. Laird playing in front. Kent kicks it out on the foot. Laird down the line. Jamar, McDonald, Thompson.
One ball, thanks. Thanks, boys. I'm here. Thanks, Scotty.
Still hard going for all concerned. Jamar left to do the ruck work on his own. Down to Jones. Slippery ball, big factor.
It's a good decision.
Yeah, it was.
Really good decision.
It's made a little bit too obvious there, Matty Wright.
Cross, kicks in. Hogan's got to run up but can't get to the ball. Oh, that's an outstanding mark from Sam Jacobs. Very few players have been able to control it in those circumstances.
Moving on, Sam. Play on.
A nice little change up too to take the kick safely away to Brown.
Moving on. Play on.
Down the line, Luke Brown. Dangerfield. Jenkins, McDonald. Straight to a pile of players. Bright knew what was coming.
Thanks. Thank you.
Bright and Jones just hassling each other a little on the way off. Jacobs plants himself in front. Jamar from behind, but couldn't quell Jacobs. Salem. Race for the tackle. They're saying, what about that one? It was a little different. Vince walks off and heavy legs. Just bottom of screen.
Well, have a look at that. They're the top 5 tacklers, and it's a very interesting list because the bloke coming second, Jake Kelly, that is a record for a debutant.
Wow.
10 tackles. So congratulations to him. That's a great effort.
10 more than his dad through his career.
Thompson up to the 50. Opportunity for Dangerfield and Lynch. He just had to get it onto Lynch. Goes to ground. Third man standing. Last man standing. Eddie Betts.
Gee, the Melbourne players thought it was touch, the snap. A couple of them protesting with the umpire, but they're not going to go to a replay. They're saying they look at every goal. Well, they'll have a look at this one before the ball is bounced back in the middle of the ground. Trouble here is everyone goes to ground. That's why Eddie Betts is the last man standing, as you called, Hutto. Lynch and McDonald go to ground. Now, is there a finger on that ball there? There could well have been.
I'll tell you what, he went straight for the touch symbol, which is usually a good indication.
Run in, boys, let's go.
Now, I don't understand how they can say everything's been reviewed because they didn't get the magnifier out where they zoom in and have a look at the fingers and the ball. So to me, that's a little bit of a Mickey Mouse review.
They don't always watch the same thing we do.
True.
But they didn't have time, you wouldn't have thought then, would you, to have done that review. Douglas, now they're rolling again, the Crows. Maybe they've broken the shackles at last. Sloan inside for Dangerfield in the pocket. He's got a metre. Usually that's all he needs. No, he goes crashing into the fence. He's had a torrid day.
He has. Well, look, you can't blame the Melbourne defender. I think it's Jeremy Howe at the time, was it? He's pushed him to stop him from kicking it. He's pushed him in the side, but then he slid pretty hard into the fence.
His body will be aching, but at least his team's in front. Jones is the other one who's copped it. Sloan, good tackling from the D's, still making it difficult. Douglas, quite a path he trod there. The kick goes back to full forward. Eddie's got the hang of it. It almost came on a plate for him.
And lost Neville Jetta there. They had him cold.
If you read the scoreline right now, you'd think that Adelaide had dominated in these conditions. 12-7 to 6-12, but it's been far from that.
Jacobs pokes it back. Jones just deciding to paddle it. Off the ground, Newton kept it on the floor. Good gather from Kennedy Harris. The give and get. Some of their youngsters collaborating very well. And here's another. Brayshaw. He's got a metre and a half. Can he utilise it? Oh, he ran out of mates. Got it back to Dawes. He's dragged down. Still they go. Lumumba just sets it up for the run and jump. Lynch got a fist to it. And that's good defensive stuff from Daniel Taylor. You'd expect nothing less.
Come out, Eddie.
4-1. It's 12-7-79 to 6-13-49. 3 goals, 3 to 4 behinds, in fact, for the quarter. There's Jones doing his darndest to get a handball, but I think it was beyond him.
Throw it in.
Eight minutes remaining. Right.
Throw it in. Only 3 goals since quarter time for Melbourne. A few points though as well.
Kicked the first 3 of the day. It's been a really spirited effort by the D's. Just missed some critical shots for goal. Maybe they can get something going here. Vandenberg. It's been wonderful to see Hogan, but he also will learn a lot from playing on Daniel Talia for a lot of the day. Now, here's the other great duel. McDonald has won most of the critical ones, but Walker's still been able to kick 3 goals. And in a low-scoring encounter, that's been telling also. Brown did all the heavy lifting there for the Crows.
In terms of marks, I mean, Walker's had 26 marks in 2 weeks. An average of 13. He's had 1 today, but hasn't been good conditions for a marking forward. McDonald's been brilliant.
Bit of volleyball action. Wright and Garland. Both went to ground initially, then Wright the first up. (12-7-79) Adelaide, 6-13, 49 Melbourne. Jacobs just to batter it back in. Tyson off the left, long to full forward. They line up. Lone fist was from Henderson.
The wind has actually turned around dramatically and really blowing hard towards Melbourne's end in this last quarter, but not making much difference to the scoreboard.
There's too many wasted opportunities, as you said.
It's a big tick for Melbourne, though. Last year, inconsistent with their effort. They're behind on the scoreboard now, probably games out of reach, but their intensity at the ball for 4 quarters has been outstanding, and that's their biggest Achilles heel last year, was how inconsistent they were, and when they were out of a game, they couldn't fight. What they've shown today against the form team after 2 rounds has been nothing short of outstanding.
Couldn't agree more, Dicko. And that then, if they can give this sort of effort on a weekly basis, then you start to be able to fine-tune the use of the footy, what's going right and wrong in the game plan. But unfortunately, when the work rate or the intensity goes up and down from week to week, it makes it more difficult to do that.
Great calmness shown by Thompson. Alice Yeoman wasn't easy for him with what was ahead. Garlett back into the maze. Somehow it got back to Sloane. Here's Walker again with McDonald. He got the handball. The blink of an eye, and that might be a free kick.
Yeah, he didn't have it,
Thompson
Thompson.
climbs through tired legs.
Just a little bit of experience. Didn't take possession. We've got a blood rule here. And Jake Kelly, that's what happens when you put your head down and tackle the daylights out of the opposition.
I dare say his old man did have a bit of blood every now and then in his career.
Yeah, but preferably his opponent's blood on him. Proud mum and dad.
Yep. So they're just happy to maintain possession and try and maintain the advantage they have here, which is extended to 30 points. Henderson with a run-up. Bombs away to half forward. McDonald perhaps could have marked it, but difficult to sum up. And they're still scrapping on those two.
See, that should be a free kick. Can we grab him and sling him around, and good on McDonald for giving a bit back.
Opens up for Wright. He's full of energy as the sub. It shows out there. He's had 6 disposals in this last quarter.
Could have shunted him in the fence there and squared it up, Chase, couldn't he, McDonald? But did the discipline thing.
You just get frustrated. You get the umpire says let go, so you let go, and the other bloke's still swinging you around and stretching your jumper and gets away with it.
Lots for Tyson. Stripped of it, Bernie Vince.
A little wry grin on the face of Bernie, I reckon, as he was jogging back in there.
He's probably the most loved player here a few years ago. Now they're booing him. 14 inside 50s for Melbourne this quarter. No goals. 9 for 3 goals for Adelaide.
Salem tried to waltz through there. Alice Yeoman, Eddie Betts got it outside. The setup just about complete. Sloane for Walker. Challenging in such a small room to manoeuvre there. 12-7-79, 6-13, 49. 30 points remains the margin. Smith up and down on the spot. He gets a second crack, and now in need a third. No easy possessions. We're down to the last 5 minutes. Last quarter, 6 scoring shots to 4. Produced 3 goals, 3 for the Crows. Scotty Thompson right back in to the groove with 24 disposals. Lynch been handy. Dangerfield.
Dropped it.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Jones. No,
the umpire had the whistle to his mouth and then put it away.
When unwhistled. Was that high? No.
Gee. must be feeling hard done by Nathan Jones.
He goes in, he
it's
cracks
stationary,
in.
you can't be high.
No.
Strange interpretation. He had to bend down to pick it up.
Yeah, in that position, Yeoman just can't afford to go over the top. You've got to concede that position and move and get him on the side.
Mind you, there wasn't a lot in it, I guess, when you look at it from the other angle. And the umpires have done a pretty good job. It's the first time in the history of the Adelaide Crows they've had 100+ tackles. These sort of conditions are conducive to high tackle counts.
Ball back inside and outside the 50 now. Lynch tracks it down. Did well to get some boot on it.
Good smother from Brayshaw, good desperation. Play right, the final siren. Even though the result might have slipped away, he's still trying to make sure he gets a game next week. Shows a lot of promise.
He's got a bit of toe about him too at the right time. Looks good, real good. That's why he went at number 3, I suppose.
Betts, Jetta. Heaved out by Cross. Jones. Can he escape? Alice Yeoman. Back to half back. Picked up well by Hardigan. Inside 50. It's over the line, scrambling, and it's out of bounds. So we'll see a throw in. Again, we wait on the throw in. Watts. Heave to ground. And again, the whistle blows. It's hard going, isn't it? Just trying to get to the end here for both teams.
Yeah, they both can see and feel the finish line, but a few blokes trying to get another goal to add to the tally out there.
Laird. Sloan. Handled it with great surety. So too Newton. Vince bought himself an extra metre or two. And he might have kicked it out on the full. No, it stays in. And Hardigan lets it continue on.
Vince up to 17 disposals. Dangerfield 13. It's a win for Vince.
Smith smothered Tyson, and they're forward here, the D's. Not for long. Yench was. Demons everywhere on the wing. Salem, Jones, captured again. Well, Nathan Jones, he's back in a pile on the ground. Dangerfield gets it out to Thompson. Things open up a little bit, but only a little bit.
Oh, little push from Taylor Walker on Tom McDonald. He goes spinning on down on the ground.
Just watch Walker and McDonald. Yeah. They've been doing that since the first 5 seconds.
Back it out again. Tyson back to the middle. Once again, Yench is the gatekeeper.
Well, they've got numbers back. Making life pretty easy for the Crows' defence.
Down to 2 minutes 26. Gallant effort this by the Demons, but missing crucial opportunities has proved very costly this afternoon here at the Adelaide Oval. High ball. Can they set up for another chance to score here? Still tackling hard, the Demons. Still making every possession difficult and hard fought. McKay, there's another example. Smothered. Newton. D's on the counter, perhaps. Jones. Going to be confronted again. Went off the ground. It was smart play. Should I go or should I stay? Well, he went. Hardigan. Now, surely Melbourne can kick a goal out of this one. Garlett captures it when it matters and strolls in and puts it through.
Well, they got another goal there, Melbourne. They deserved the goal in the last quarter. They fought it out really well. Jeffy Garlett, who's played a reasonably good game, he's kicked 2 goal 4 now. We've been saying all day it should have been more than that. It's a good take here in the wet. And the scoreboard gets a bit closer, probably where it should be, Hardo. 24 points now. Probably still flatters Adelaide a little bit in these conditions.
Garlett's had his issues in front of goal, but they're nice and easy when they're that close. So maybe there's time for another score either way. Alice Yeoman hoping so. Up into the 50 he ventures. But this Melbourne defence has been consistent so far. He's able to stand up again.
Rory Sloane up to 30 touches. Thompson's had 27 for Melbourne. Lumumba and Jones 25 each.
Jacobs stumps it down. Vince goes to ground. So it's going to be an Adelaide ball.
Good game back for Scotty Thompson. Jagged his hamstring twice in the pre-season. Made the play in the SANFL for a couple of games to get his fitness right, but he's been fantastic today, suited by the conditions. 18 contested possessions, equal most on the ground.
Right, stabs it into the pocket. Eddie Flew was hoping. Douglas still not out of there. Dangerfield, Thompson, McKay. Back to the square. Lynch knew where it was headed. Got it in the pocket. Tries to pass it back, but that was beyond him, and Dawes somehow manages to cling on to the mark. Howe hands it straight back to Lynch. There's still time for the Crows. Down to the last 33 seconds.
Eddie Betts is down in the square. It's just got Eddie written all over it.
Yep. No, he goes for a pass. Jenkins. Oh, he's paid it. So Jenkins will have the shot for goal here. Pretty much on the siren. He's running back. More energetic than most out there at the moment.
Yeah, he did mark it.
So just a matter of margin now. Jenkins to kick. And it's been hard to score goals all day. That's no exception. It's a minor. And the Adelaide Crows had to fight every inch of the way here at the Adelaide Oval. Finally, they've prevailed over a gallant Melbourne that really made them work in tough conditions. It's the Adelaide Crows, though, who get the 4 points. That's 3 in a row to start the year. Adelaide, 12-8-80, have defeated Melbourne, 7-13-55.
Yes, trying conditions for both sides, but the home side prevailing. Adelaide winning by 25 points. And the feature of their game, as we heard during the call, for the first time, over 100 tackles by the Crows in a game. An outstanding performance, and they remain at the top of the AFL ladder at the moment. We'll take a break, more shortly.